Mheshimiwa ameshika kichwa. Ameshika kichwa, amesema hiyo ni miaka mingi. I like the point Mzee Metobo has put across. I'm hoping Mheshimiwa you are translating for Mheshimiwa Baya. I said wakisi tushikane mikono, you know, let's come together. So, and I rightfully so, this is not a Kisii meeting because they are not representing, even though Mheshimiwa Osoro is representing Kisii, South Mugrango. They are also here in a different capacity. But I love our forefathers had a way of putting messages across. One of my favorite proverb ya wa Kisii, obwato mwabo. La. Sisi ni wa Kisii kweli? Obwato mwabo.
Obwato kwa gochaka.
Inaanzaje? Hiyo ni ya mwisho. There you go. Obwato mwabo, obwato koboko. Otabwatio mwabo, mramu omo. So, having ndugu yako, you walk together. You know, they even say, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Same concept. Ukiwa na mwenzako mnaendana pamoja. You know, you share a joke, you keep going, you sing a song. I remember when I was young, my mom used to send me keombe na wale wa mama wa village. Munalima mkiimba. By the time you are done, the whole place is done. So it's really important that as a people, we come together. I always preach collaboration. There is so much we can do if we work together. There is so much we can do if we support each other. There is so much we can do if we give each other that stepping stone, that stepping stool to the next level. So moments like this, we need to be reminded of opportunities where we can collaborate, where we can help each other, support each other. We are very good at supporting each other when kuna matanga, but we don't do a very good job in other aspects. So I think Mzee Metobo has put a challenge out there for us, something to really think about, to take heart, and make sure that we are working together. Ubwato mwabo, ubwato koboko. Utabwatio mwabo, ubwata. Thank you. We have one of our leaders here from the Kenya Diaspora Council, and I'm going to give a quick moment to say hello, and then we will continue from there. Madam. Atajisemea majina yake yote, ile ya original na ile ya baadaye. Thank you, my sister.
Kwa majina naitwa Cynthia Sidi Kafuihi. Sidi ndia nyumbani. Ukiniita Sidi unanijua. But my official name is actually Cynthia. Welcome everybody. Mheshimiwa, karibuni sana. We like to see when leaders come in and they're willing to share with us what they're doing and to listen to us what we are requesting for them to help us with the diaspora affairs. I just want to encourage you, ladies. I was a stay-at-home mom. Actually, I am a stay-at-home mom. I am the CEO of my house, the engineer, the cook, the driver, everything. But my husband allows me to serve the community. So if you have a woman at home, a wife, let them serve. Don't make them feel like just the babies, that's the end of their world. Yeah? From my just serving, I was able to be nominated to be the women's representative for the diaspora. And then The secretary passed on, so I took up two roles, the women's representative and the secretary. I did it for 6 years until I had my last child. So they know I try and be harsh, just to rush people along because I have to go back home. I'm given just a few minutes with my husband. Hey, go do your work, but you have to come back and cook and do everything else. But we are here to serve each other. Don't feel like just because I'm a housewife, I can't do anything. Just because I have this much education, I can't do anything. Just because I'm from this community, I can't do anything. Actually, Mr. Baya, Honorable Baya, maybe we are 10 or 5 coastarians. 10 or 5 in the whole of Texas. Okay? So you guys are many. Yeah? Imagine how much more you can do by just working together. Yeah? So don't feel like you can't do much by coming together. Put aside the classes, put aside your education level. If you can help the community, please serve. Yeah? And it's not a paid position. But if you're able to and you have the willing and the heart for the community, please reach out and see where you can serve the community. Tongi knows about it, he'll share more. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Sidi. Before you sit down, maybe a quick high-level summary of what is Kenya Diaspora Alliance.
So, Kenya Diaspora Advisory Council of Texas is a body from the embassy. We work with the embassy. And normally we are on a hiatus, I guess I want to say, because most of you don't know about it. Do you know about KDSC? Yes? Okay. So don't, I need you to remove your, the little that you know and be open to learn more. Because we don't get paid. We serve the community for free. Yes? But if you see the number of things that we have done for the people who know that we have done something for them, we have helped people who have died here and had no one. We're the ones who buried them. We have helped people who have had police cases and had no one to fight for them. We're the ones who helped them with the embassy. We pretty much all the organizations that have started took our idea to help the community and develop themselves. Now imagine if they left that idea in the community, how much more we would have done. Yeah? So don't think that KDSC is nothing. It's what brought all these other organizations. Yeah? Am I right, Tony? Yeah? So imagine if you are for the people, how much more can we do? Yeah? We can even elect a representative here. We are so many. Yeah? Yeah? We are so many. We just need to get someone who really, really is for the people and we vote them in. Yeah? So that's all I can say about KDSC. Don't just listen about the things that we have not been able to accomplish, but we have accomplished a lot with a very low budget. And remember, it's only our time and our resources. Yeah? Yeah, so be open to serve, be open to hear what we have, because it's normally for the community, it's not for us. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Hey, my coffee, please. We can do better. Especially somebody who is giving their time, talent to serve the community. Like she said, it is not a paid position. So somebody has to find time to do the work they do. I was listening to Catherine Kasavuli's son when giving tribute to her mother. And one thing that caught my attention when he was finishing, he said thank you to the people who had helped him through the process. And he said, if somebody can give you their time, That is the most important thing that somebody can give you. You know, sometimes we give money and we think we've done something. But when somebody really needs something done and you bring your time, skill, and talent and you help them execute that process, it is actually you're giving them the ultimate. So we want to thank you, Sidi, for your time and commitment to our community. Volunteer work is many, many times thankless, and I hope that we do remember to say thank you when we can. In the interest of time, we are going to proceed and give this opportunity to Mheshimiwa so that he can say a couple words before we proceed. So at this moment, I want to welcome Mheshimiwa Owen Baya. He will give us a few remarks, and then he will introduce His Excellency Sylvanus Osoro.
Thank you very much, our MC. Good evening. Like you've heard, my name is Owen Baya. I am a Member of Parliament for Kilifi North, but I'm also the Deputy Majority Leader. People confuse me to be Osoro's deputy. I'm not his deputy. The office of the Deputy Majority Leader is a different office from that office of the Whip. He has his deputy, but I am Ichungwa's deputy. Yes, because those are different offices. We basically deal with government issues into Parliament, and we bring them to Parliament, and we push Parliament to adopt. But there's one person who will ensure that what we bring to Parliament passes. Our duty is to bring it, convince members, talk to them, but also our job as a whip is to ensure the government business passes in Parliament. I hope you understand the difference. So I'm glad to be here in Texas and to meet Kenyans who are here. We have had quite a journey. We were in New York. We met the permanent representatives. We went to Jersey. We went to Minnesota. Now we're here, and tomorrow we're in Florida. We'll go to Delaware and eventually Washington. So we have a long trip. Basically to familiarize with what Kenyans think about Kenya. Kenyans in the US think about Kenya, their issues, what is it that they want us to take home with us, and what it is that we can help the community here. But as we do that, we'll sit down and listen and pick a few questions, see how we can answer. Those that we can't answer, probably we will take them back to Nairobi and see how we can communicate and such that your issues get attention at the national government. But I also want to say a few things that I was with the president in March when the then deputy president came to America. I was with him and I attended all the events with him. And there are very many issues that were raised by the community in the diaspora, especially those that are in the United States. And key among them was this. If diaspora now contributes almost 3% of GDP, actually your contribution now is bigger than any other stream of revenue into the country, over 400 billion a year annually. It means, therefore, diaspora is our biggest export. And how is it that we are taking care of them so that we continue to receive the remittances that are coming in, and that the diaspora still feel recognized and appreciated by their government? And if you can make such a huge contribution of 400 billion a year, then you need to be heard. You need to be heard, and your issues need to be tackled and they need to be looked at. So I know the president then promised that when he becomes president, he will create a ministry of, or a set department for diaspora, something which he did. I think we should commend the president for keeping his word. So we created a state department for diaspora. Now we have a permanent secretary whose job is only to deal with diaspora issues. And some of these issues, even as we collect them and take them back home, definitely will go and sit with Njogu and tell her these are the issues that came out of our trip and would like you to deal with them. When we were in Minnesota, one of the things that came out is we need a consulate. And when I was here, also somebody whispered to me that that is what you guys need. And Minnesotans think that it is their privilege because they say that there are 60,000 and that it is the largest Kenyan community in the United States. We checked the statistics somehow, and we realized probably they were not lying, but probably they were just being economical with the truth. Yes, I actually thought that Texas was ahead. But again, consular services are very important. You need a stamp on your passport. You don't have to go to Washington. Neither do you have to go to New York or to Carolina. It can be done here because Texas is also one of the biggest states in the United States, isn't it? And one of the biggest economies in the United States. So my thinking, and if I were to be given the opportunity to advise, I would say that probably Texas needs to have that consulate because it is only 2.5 hours from Minnesota to here. And it's more central. Everybody can reach here in less than 3 hours, isn't it? So this is me, if I were allowed to advise government on it, I would say this state requires to have a consulate. But again, if you are bringing a consulate, you know you have to employ people. There are a lot of things a lot of resources that will go into it. But you also don't want to keep the numbers static. And you only depend on how many children you have here. What I'm saying is probably we need to bring in more people from Kenya to come here to explore and look at the opportunities that are here and get jobs. You know, we have a problem of joblessness. I was talking to the senator for this, the state senator for Minnesota is called Mohammed Noor. He has his roots in Mombasa. He's a guy from Kenya. And he said the unemployment rate in Minnesota is -2%. I know this didn't sink. -2% unemployment rate. Then I asked him, so you must be having a deficit of very many cadres of people that you can say, yes. For example, in the health sector, we require around 60,000 people. And the Philippines have taken advantage of it. And the Nicaraguans have also taken advantage of it. And many other East Asian countries have taken advantage of it. So he said, but Kenya are slow. You Kenyans are very, very slow. So I looked at myself, and you know, he said, you Kenyans. So I looked at myself and said, am I Kenyans or... So who are these Kenyans? It is us, isn't it? We're actually being very slow at grabbing these opportunities. But our people wouldn't know about those opportunities. The people that know about those opportunities are the people that are here. So what are we doing about it? If you ask the old man, did he leave? Mesha, he left. If you ask him how he ended up here, he'll say, probably somebody invited him. He got an invitation from someone. If I ask here also, how did you end up here? You'll definitely say you didn't just wake up one day and say you're going to Texas. Somebody somehow here said, hey, come, there's something we can do here, isn't it? My passion is that we try and work hard to bring more other people. This United States, fortunately, I was a student here many years ago, but I'm one of those few who could not manage it here. And I went back. I went to school in Penn State many years ago. And I worked in Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas, for some time. And then I decided, wow, I can't hack it here. So I went back. But I think it's important that we invite more people. The resources here are many, the opportunities here are many. And Kenyans are suffering. When I look at the young people in Nairobi or in the coast and other people, joblessness is killing a whole generation. The more jobless a person is, the more into drugs that person is. The more into cheap alcohol that person is. The more they become unproductive in their own country, the more we kill the economy of that region. If I asked you how many of you are paying school fees for children back at home, all of you, then what happens to that investment you're making? It goes out of the drain, isn't it? Yeah, but we can rescue it. We can rescue it by ensuring that we pull more. I promised the senator that I'll speak to the president on ensuring that we bring this thing on health workers training, the exam that must be done in South Africa, be done in Nairobi, so that it is much easier for Kenyans to uptake the opportunities so that they come here. But then there are very many people that are in your villages that do not know about the opportunities here. Before you say, I want to go to South Africa to do this, then you need to understand that the opportunity exists. But that opportunity that exists cannot be understood by the young people there unless somebody tells, hey, look, there's an opportunity here. So what I want to ask of you is, as you stay here and as you see many opportunities, please communicate to the other guys. Facilitate 1 or 2 people to come here. I would rather somebody comes to work in the United States than goes to work in Saudi Arabia. You see how are people suffering in Saudi Arabia? But those Saudi Arabians, they have a way, they have agents, they have all manner of people who come out there into the village and recruit people, and they facilitate them, make it easier for them to go to Saudi Arabia. But they suffer. I also say that I want to speak to the president so that we can create a bilateral with the government here of the United States to make it easy for people who want to work here to get visas, so that we smoothen the process. Because it is very easy to go to Saudi Arabia. The visa you get in a half a day. But if you want to come here, it's a nightmare, isn't it? So we need to smoothen the road. So as government, we have something that we need to do. We need to smoothen the road. We make sure that it is easier for somebody to get access to this country. But then somebody needs to help us understand the opportunities that exist in this country. Apart from jobs, I'm sure there are very many opportunities of business. And you know how enterprising our Kenyans are. Kenyans are very enterprising. And it is very easy to bring a Kenyan here and becomes a big business person and makes it in life. But how are we facilitating other people to come here and make it in life and continue to contribute? Because for me, if I see that this is a revenue stream that is making it big time, diaspora remittances, then I want to grow it. I want to grow it from 400 billion to 1 trillion. But how do I get there? There are 2 ways. Government can facilitate people to come here, but Kenyans here can also facilitate Kenyans to come, so that we can grow that revenue stream. And the money that you send, because when I was in that meeting in March, there's a young man who made a very good presentation to the president and said, you see, if I am making a remittance, 400 billion, and I come back to my village and the road is the way I left it, I'm sure there are some things you want to say. The road is the same way that I left it. But I look at a lot of money that I brought, because if I bring in money here, it goes into, even if a certain percentage will go to my family, but a big percentage of it will go into tax. So government makes that, the money. But then the road is the way it was since you left it. The local school performance is still the same as I left it. And buildings have not changed much. The local hospital is even worse. What is it that we do? What is it? Here's the prayer. What is it that you do with our taxes? What is it that you do with our taxes? And I want to tell you, as we engage our chief whip here and you engage us, it is our undertaking as government that we want to make better government, not just for you, but for the people that you send your money to, so that they live in a more comfortable area. We grow our democracy, we grow our economy, and government makes sense to people. That is our calling as politicians and as we manage public affairs, is to make lives better, to facilitate that lives of our people become better. So you are right to ask questions, to make noise, I see sometimes, I don't read, I don't understand Gusi, but when I see Osoro read what you guys write on WhatsApp and I see his face has changed, najua anashambuliwa, si ndio? Yes, and I see most of the time when he reads from diaspora, he's very sad because you guys tell him the truth. You know, the truth is bitter. Yes, the Kisi people want better services, isn't it? You want better roads, you want better education, you want better facilities for hospitals, and it is what every other Kenyan wants, so that you are proud of your country. As you land at JKIA, you've arrived there, you want to go home and you want to send pictures from there and tell your friends here that, look, we are as developed as the other side. But what you see there is pathetic. You don't want to send even one picture. You don't want to send even one picture. So what I'm trying to say is, please participate in the democratization of the country, but more so in the development of the country. Yes, the more remittances we get, the more taxes we get. And this president, I think, has set a trajectory to want to uplift the lives of the people, our bottom-up approach to development. We want everybody to have a square meal, to have an education, to have good health care, to have a job, and to have a good life. That is what the William Ruto administration is about. And you can help us achieve that. So I will sit here, we will hear the questions that you have, we will try to answer them. What we cannot answer, we will carry home and see how we can develop the country together. So I want to take this opportunity, as I get a little bit harassed behind here. I still have time? But I also want to take this opportunity to thank you for leaving what you're supposed to do, but to come for this meeting and to interact with us, to hear us out, and also to bring your ideas. I learned that good ideas run a country, but great ideas rule the world, isn't it? Yeah, so probably there's an idea that you have that can help us make Kenya better. Probably this is the opportunity that you can give us that idea. We carry it home, we discuss. Our president is a president that is very open to ideas. A lot of you who have interacted with him, and he's very brilliant, very sharp, but more so he's a very good listener. And he would like to hear what is it that Kenyans are thinking, Kenyans abroad are thinking about Kenya, so that we are able to take home. I want to say this lastly. When I interacted with the community in Minnesota, there are two things that I took home with me because of the way they presented the issues. And they told me they're good ideas here. For example, I met a guy who works with Prudential Services. Prudential is one of the biggest financial service providers. But he said that they would like to set a call center in Kenya. A call center in Kenya that's likely to employ over 24,000 young people who will just be operating computers and picking calls and all that. But the only problem that we have, he said, is that our internet is too slow. The taxation is also very, very high. So I promised him that when I get the ear of the president, I'll tell him that, you know, we are losing on many job opportunities and a lot of revenue because our internet is too slow and our taxes are high. So for us to get such a big business coming into the country like Prudential, then we need to do something so that we can create many jobs and also make money from the businesses. So I promised him that this I will take home. And I will look for an opportunity, whatever it is, to tell the president, please, if there's a way we can increase the speed of internet, it will help the country, because other people apart from Prudential will want to invest in the country. And if we do that, also we look at the taxation regime. We are going to do the finance bill. You know, Parliament is the budget-making house. We're going to do the finance bill, which will look at taxes. And if you have an idea of what taxes you need to be reduced, talk to us about it. Somebody else told us about, you see, today, if I deposit money through Safaricom, I get charged. And also when I withdraw the same money, I get charged. So there's an argument, a whole argument that my friend Osoro will try to explain on that. But I say, okay, even me, if you're a bank and you want my money because when I give you that money, you want to interest on it. Yes. So why should you? charge me. But you see, government right now, recently, I think in the recent times, if you withdraw money from your account, government also makes some money out of it. I think there's a new law, excise duty law, which we stepped in, and now government is also taxing withdrawals from through M-Pesa. So there are many things that you guys from here, you can help us so that we make it easier for you, so that you can easily send money. You don't, if I use M-Pesa, it is more costly. Let me send the money through this system, and then we reduce efficiency. We want to be an efficient government, and we can only be efficient if we are told where we are not efficient as a government. I want to end there and introduce to you a man who the people of South Migirango elected to Parliament for the second time. A man who, once fought the present governor of Kisii because of his passion in politics, but also I think one of the very fast rising star in Kenyan politics, the one and only Honorable Osoro, who is our chief whip. Karibu sana.
Asante sana, Baya. I didn't see that coming. Your intro imekuwa mzuri, lakini imefika mahali ukachoma bara. Because there are some things that one wishes that they should actually be off the internet, or rather off people's minds. But unfortunately they can't. They make us. Actually, it is the reason why people got to know about me and stuff like that. It was an expression of passion. So I also want to take this opportunity, just as my colleague has said, to associate first myself with the sentiments that he gave, and a short speech, or short quality speech that is given. But even as I do that, I also want to introduce myself formally. My name is Sylvanus Osoro. I am the member for South Mogrango constituency. South Mogrango is in Kisii County. Of course, most of us are from Kisii, as I see. And I'm also the majority party chief whip. In another language, I am the government whip. So there is a difference. There is the minority whip, who is the opposition whip. I am the government whip. So the opposition whip gets instruction from a different quarter, and the government whip gets instruction from the president. So that is the difference. So I am actually the link between government business in the House on how they should pass, and what the executive wants and how they should be pushed in the National Assembly, and that is what we do. It is still very early for us to wish you guys a Happy New Year. So Happy New Year. Yeah, because the year is still very young. We just, by the grace of God, found ourselves again alive at this point in time, and we really must appreciate God for such an opportunity to be alive. Number two, I know most of us, because you are Kenyans, and because this is the Kenyan diaspora, it's important for me to say this, that Kenya is a country with 50 million Kenyans and 50 million politicians. So you are actually politicians. Our sport as a people, and I don't know whether it's Kenya only, but Africa per se, is sport. It's politics. That in a cycle of 3, a discussion can't pass without the mention of politics or anything. So I know you are all politicians, and that is where you are, well acquainted to the fact that there is a regime change in our country. I'm sure you are aware. And if you are not, I need to remind you, it's been 4 months. By the way, if you haven't been into Kenya, we have a new president called William Ruto, if you didn't know. So there is a possibility that some of us didn't vote. You are here. Of course, the fact that you also do not have a consulate, and this wasn't marked as a center for voting, I presume so, unless I'm guided correctly. Was it? Yes, so some of us didn't have an opportunity to vote. I wanted to make a report to you first that we have a regime change. We have a president called William Ruto, and we also have a deputy president called Rigathi Gachagua, or Rigiji. By the way, back at home, we also have a prime cabinet secretary called Musalia Mudavadi. So that is the pecking order as it is. And there are a lot of things that have changed. We have a new police head, Koome Japheth. We've got so many things that have changed across. And when I go, get down to our local politics, we also have Justice Maraga Emeritus chairing a commission in, on matter security in the country for reforms on all the security agencies. We've got the geothermal chairman, development chairman, commission chairman, Honorable Walter Nyambati, and so many others. I'm actually informing you that because it is important for you to know that you are actually Kenyans. You're not Americans. You are in a foreign land. When that fact gets into you, you'll appreciate to get to know whatever happens back at home. Number two, I also inform you that so that you can be well acquainted of the facts that happen back at home and live by the true fact that even as you left miles away from home for this place, understand that comparison, when you do comparison from where you stay and back at home, you'll not only be doing yourself injustice, but also you'll be doing us injustice. Because we are barely less than 100 years post-independence. You are living in a country that has built system over the years, over 200 years in terms of their existence. So even as we raise issues about our governance, about our structure, you also need also to take advantage of your expansive knowledge of this network that you are in, including Texas. A state that is, in terms of landmass, that is 3 times our country. That in itself should tell you that there is no comparison as far as matters progressive is concerned as at now. In our small way, we are trying, but we are not yet there. But I remind you of the reasons why you left your country. You left your country for this place because you did not have opportunities back at home. The inadequacy of land, the inadequacy of jobs. People are grumbling for everything. That situation hasn't changed. In any case, it's actually becoming worse. Most of us who come from Kisii, it is true. Some of the things you've seen on social media are happening back in our villages. Somebody woke up one morning and decided to gorge, to kill a young boy of 3 years back in the village. And when you follow the story, you realize that, the lady was married to, the mother of that baby was married to some guy in that homestead who has, and with a tremendous respect, has a short wire, and they had to have him married there for generational growth, like we always do for in our ancestral ties. And the lady came with 2 kids. And now she decided to get married somewhere else in pretense that she's gone to work somewhere in Borabu constituency. But that was another marriage. And in the second marriage, she lied to the husband. Or is it second or even that? She lied to the husband or to the family that she's somewhere working as a house girl, but she was somebody's wife. And she didn't disclose the other party that she's left the kids. So this other guy who is short wire has a stepbrother. And the stepbrother is illiterate. So the stepbrother has always been thinking, this Kaland, huyu mwenda wazimu, kidogo vile tunangoja aende, hii shamba itabaki yangu. Bahati mbaya wameniletea bibi na watoto 2, na mmoja ni kijana. So the stepbrother and the mother hatched a plan to do away with the baby. And they decided to go and they hit the baby badly. So the baby passed out. Not really dying, passed out, and And although, sadly, eyes were open as he passed out. So with these movies that people DJ Afro and the other movies, so the illiteracy back at home now made this guy think he Macho is dead. But sadly, Macho vile inaniona na watakuja wamulike Macho wapate image yangu in the so they decided to go out. But the manner in which they did, because I saw the baby, the second eye couldn't come in. You know, you can actually pull the lid of this, or you mean the entire ball of this eye, hata na spoon yako tu ya nyumba na utoke. But moja ikakataa kutoka, so they started waliptobwa hivi. And that is what happened because of the inadequacy of resources back at home and then illiteracy level. It's a very sad situation. And there is a young girl who is 7 years of age. You know, they've really messed with her life. They've infected her with HIV. And life is that way back in the village. And we've also seen some other stories of a teacher that was killed. The lady hasn't been caught yet. She's still at large. Those are, again, things that I explained to you about the system failure in our country, our system, slow system within our country. And you can't really set that in comparison with where you live in. And so many other things that I would tell you. But why am I giving you this story? So that you understand that the reasons as to why you left your country are the very same reasons that are making people get affected back at home. And we haven't really gone extremely high. We know you may judge us, but I want to beg of you that it's actually been 3 months since we took over as the UDA government. And there are always stages. I know some of us, of course, were not in support of William Samoei Ruto, and that makes democracy. That is democracy. There is nothing wrong to support or not to support. Because really, if we sit here, a meal comes here, you'll always have your choice, and I'll have mine. And but now that is what under the bridge. We have a president, and it is our responsibility, all of us, to support that president and that government. And that is what we call patriotism. Patriotism does not really mean that you, opposition doesn't mean that you become a perennial complainant. That over time, you always look for fault and you are holding somewhere in a corner, waiting for your government to fail, for you to prove a point, that William Ruto has failed, for you to prove a point. That is not patriotism. It still beats logic why you left your country. That you pray that this government should fail so that you can have bragging rights and say, you know, gentlemen, I told you this guy will fail. So eventually you've also failed your country because at the end of the day, your country is not working very well. By the way, let me report to you that even if you were in the opposition, or rather you were in supporting the other camp, of which most of us, of course, had that history from that side. I also want to inform you that over this weekend, His Excellency the President was in Homa Bay, Siaya, and Kisumu. And even without that information, okay, furthering that information, it's important for me also to inform you that he was actually given, was it a bull as a gift by Honorable Gladys Wanga? So, who is more ODM than who? Because if it is Gladys Wanga, if Gladys Wanga would do that. And I remember the very first time when William Ruto visited Homa Bay, she couldn't come to attend the church function. You know, that shows that we are growing. We appreciate our democracy, and we've become a hub within Africa. That we can always disagree in ideas, but after elections, we join hands and work together and support the government so that the reasons that brought you back, brought you all the way from your country to this place, a country that is miles away from your home, that you sit in plane flight for so many hours for you to get to this place. A place at times can become so funny. I was telling people in Minnesota that when I was almost landing, for some reason, I heard that there's snow in Minnesota and, it's very cold and everything. But I didn't know it was that serious. So, so I sat close to the window and I peeped out of my eyes and I could see down, for some reason I got confused. I thought there's a miracle, or rather there's another unique type of soil that is white covering all over until I got out. So anytime we could, because I've been there, I think we've been there for 2 nights, I think so. And we could have a meal, it's quiet, people are enjoying and everything, until we get out. You can't even fold your hand. And I started asking them, what are you guys doing here? In fact, go back home. There's one older man I told, he happened to come from my area in South Mogrango. So nikamwambia, mzee, hii baridi inakusumbua. Toka nenkango golirege tuba unya kusiye mesi oncho kanane. Because I couldn't understand why the guy is really straining for such. But again, it still boils down to the question as to why we are here. So because of the inadequacy of resources, the situation hasn't changed. Ladies and gentlemen, ours on this setup wasn't extremely official, as one might think here in these sites. We had official engagements in New York and DC, and I think we should be giving a speech somewhere in Washington DC University or something on Thursday. And then we are supposed to be in the Congress somewhere in Delaware. This was in the sidelines of our meeting, at the peripheries of our meeting, official engagement. We felt it twice again to pass by and possibly get to understand how Kenyans are doing abroad, how you guys are living. And I'm very happy that I have met people doing very well. In fact, in Minnesota, I was told, in America, hunger can't kill you. It's actually food that will kill you, because there's plenty of it. I now understand sometimes when I see you guys flying back home. You guys, some of you guys are huge. You guys sometimes you guys come and, you look extremely, well-bodied. And it explains, I've seen, the hospitality that I've seen all through since I came here. We've been with Kina Daffin in New Jersey, New York, and several Kenyans. In fact, in Minnesota, everyone was fighting to host us. I could wake up in my hotel room and find a car down there. We are going for breakfast. I don't remember having breakfast in a hotel. And it was very enjoyable, except of course for the snow and the cold and stuff like that. That was shocking. There are positives and negatives. So with that in mind, that you've come all the way to this place for economic value for yourself and for your country, I want to remind you to be patriotic enough again and make sure that in all your engagement, you partner with our government to make sure that we succeed. Honorable Owen has said that you guys, or the diaspora, contribute to about 3% of our GDP, which is about 400 and something billion Kenyan shillings. Again, that is not entirely out of you guys. There is tourism, there are other factors that contribute into that. Even as we think through that line, economic value is also realized when you guys think through investing back at home. Even as you work here, you make your money, you make your $1,000, you make your $3,000, whatever amount that you want to make. Please always remember to invest back at home. You guys have a huge responsibility. Back at home, especially those people who come from Kisii, you know how you guys are called. You're called Umu America, even when you visit. And you enjoy that tag, which, of course, is the reason why some of you guys get conned. Because people think that you flow in cash. They don't know you guys work extremely hard. They don't know that you guys work what you call double here. Sometimes you really struggle, and they don't know the elements of taxation. Anytime you even speak to any person from the diaspora, they tell you there's money here, but the cost of living is high, taxation is very high, we pay a lot of taxes. That in itself should answer you the question on taxation back in our home. That countries are built through home, or rather revenues that are collected locally, not through foreign loans, not through foreign aid, not through very expensive loans that are given on some very fake moratoriums at times. So it's very important for us to realize that even as we engage here economically, and you think to, you have a mindset of buying homes around here. I've been in this United States for some time. This is not the first time I've been here. The other time I came here, I went to Seattle, Washington. I've actually gone through these states over time, and I've seen Kenyan spirit. Quite, and you guys are good. We are blessed in terms of hard work. I got some Kenyan showing me about 6 houses in Seattle, Washington. This is my house, this is my house. In fact, she was telling me the other day that you are here. The last time you were here, I was opening my other house. But whenever she comes back home, she spends in my place for 2-3 weeks, because there is no house. And some of you guys, there isn't, in a positive way. Because her mindset is that let me invest in the diaspora and make money. But ladies and gentlemen, east, west, home is best. Anytime you think through, I know at times you guys fall trap of conning game, but some of it is out of your failure to do due diligence. We lose our sense of information once we land over here. You become extreme Americans. You don't want to watch TV on local news, on what happens. You rely basically on what a certain blogger writes to get your information. You don't want to read newspapers online. You forget that information is power. Those are the weaknesses that we have, the people in the diaspora. And that is why you get scammed every time somebody tells you, I'm building you some home. And then ukienda huko unapata ni choo alijenga. Hiyo pesa ilipotea. And sometimes you guys get challenges. People send you fee structures that are fake, and you continue paying and stuff like that. Because there is no such link, and due diligence has been limited. But again, I must insist, even if there is a higher risk, please invest at home. Get a place, get a piece of land somewhere, go to places like where Owen Baya comes from, where an acre still is at, when you go to the villages, at 100,000, 50,000, 200,000, buy 100 acres. Yes. No, I was telling people the other day, just recently I went to Kwale and I found about 5,000 acres, somebody selling at 8,000 shillings per acre with genuine title. Usieka maisa yowaka chiri bibere. Kwa veka fence, kwa veka chimboli, kwa veka chingoko. Buya igo, korosi ranch. Anki abantu bacha bate banga ini Illuminati. Kwa babia. There are so many things that people can do. You understand? Owen sijaongea mbaya, nilikuwa nasema Yesu ni Bwana, shetani ni kumbafu. So it's important for us to realize that. Invest back at home. Invest back at home. Build homes. Have some place. Even afadhali uko na kakito kagingaka hata kama ni just kakamulu. Umekaweka mahali na nikako. And then back at home. Sometimes it's embarrassing. At times people come, you guys come, live here, and then you go back home. You are the same. It is good. When I hear such stories like Mzee has spoken, I've been here since 1978 and everything. I have something to show back at home, because at the end of the day, you have a home, you have your people, and we've got our culture. There are so many things I admire about foreigners, especially Americans. But there are so many other things that I don't admire about them. And one of it is their social capital, the social network, the element of knowing where is cousin ya brother yangu yuko happy, where is my aunt, where is, So, I don't know whether MC nimefanya makosa. I'm okay? If I was a teacher, for attention. Yes. Ndio niona kama nina make mistake. So, ladies and gentlemen, invest back at home and then pay, investment, you just don't invest about yourself, also invest with your people. And the best investment you can do with your people is give people who are close to you quality education. Make sure that kids go to school. That is the least you can actually do. Even if you get scammed, you will be proud that you took somebody to school. You'll be proud that you educated somebody. Because what is happening again is that our level of education back in our villages, inaenda ikienda chini. The other day we were going through the scholarships. And even actually, we started from the masters, students who graduated in Maseno with the Honorable Machogu, Kenyatta and everything. Kenyatta, Maseno, Kenyatta oyo masters. Ochigoro. Squeezy people do not want to go to school. They all want kago kora. You know, akonde sobule munkalia. Wa murankali na barengera tigo. Agore ngombe atara ne ready ne para. Ne ko yake kuba. Eko yake kuba ngabono no onda. It is bad. It is actually worse. Ara hora Mario ga jira bona abuchire. Munda ko wikwa ne sipara liyo abu yete bia yekere mambi na marogoba. There is a generation that is dying. The generation of age between 15 and 30. Whenever you get an opportunity, engage them that way. Every time. The generation of Kadadi and Kamami. Dadi ujakosea, ukosawa, you know. Ako menya muangina. Tabuga dikende. And it's bad. Generation oko menya muangina. Oko menya muamaumin. Yani bubesana. Kunyomero. It's becoming worse. And it annoys me. So anytime you guys engage, why I'm telling you all those things, because our people have a tendency of listening to people who are in the diaspora. They believe you know everything. Even when you know nothing sometimes. sometimes they also believe you guys, you know, just like in the village. They like believing people who live abroad. They like believing teachers because they are the closest professionals who speak in English. Back in, you know, so they, you know, and then they like believing in radio media. And that is why some of us, that is why unaona radio stations, they've really manipulated yabantu. Mono. Because nero tegero mambi marogopa nero montabe araf competition ya chiri yangire ko goswa buya bantu bacha nejire die buya iko mono muntu ne die ne online ne online iga globe wono kwanyora magokoro nkari tamanye tieje amanyete ngaki omongina gete na kwana rero mambi ngaki ndo gete kia kwana kisi FM ya chire ya sinyiru kubeka local because nkietara abgatera okaba maite ere kisi bona any frequency yabe kubgata kisi yo karia so bagusi bali abantu bali gusi na bali onyambali kuba ikere no ba America bago ikere umuntu uri Nairobi anki bago kwana so babekere ready Nairobi na ere kubgata umuntu igunga Nairobi na igwete ready ere kwana. That is why egese konyo le competition so ingoja kubata bia ready station gete in another 1 month igoja we got the national coverage. Moya tegerere yekigusi time dio Osoro semba mba Osoro semba chababe ime batindo jo batebe. But now what I'm trying to tell you, as you do that, please remember to always tell our people to invest in their kids in education, to avoid drug and abuse that is really affecting our people, and above everything to avoid you know, village antagonistic politics, even in our schools. A teacher comes, because he doesn't buy you tea across the shopping center, you know, it's really affecting our people. And it's becoming worse. So on the issue of taxation, now that you've already realized, msaidie uko nje kidogo ndio asinini. Good. On the issue of taxation, Owen has raised an issue here, and it has been the issue that everyone has been saying. We send money to our banks and everything, and then we pay. Mumeyasema hiyo kitu. And then we withdraw, we pay. And then in Minnesota, I found somebody telling us that, you know, people in the diaspora, we need to have special interest rates when you come to invest back at home and everything because of element of double taxation and stuff like that. We get taxed here. When you bring money at home, we shouldn't. Again, ladies and gentlemen, number one, the first principle we must accept. For us to grow, we must pay taxes back in our villages. Number one. Number two, I need to inform you that you've heard this statement, and at times it's interpreted wrongly in our political arena, when the deputy president says that we took over from a dilapidated economy. And then you guys, you guys keep on saying, you know, how he keeps on talking about economy and everything. It's because you do not understand. You know, we collect 2.3 trillion shillings. 2.3 on our revenue collection. But our expenditure and budget is at 3 trillion. So we have a deficit of about 700 billion. So this 700 billion, we get it from we start now in getting loans, foreign loans, every time to mitigate this challenge back at home. Why? Wewe unaketi hapa America, ukikuja village, Achira akikuja village, ananipigia simu kwa sababu anatoka Moticho Ward. Mbona sina stima? Nyinyi kazi yenu ni gani? 1 billion is for salaries, or 1.5 billion overheads, staff and everything. 500 billion is to pay our loans, because we have loans. It's GR loan, expressway loan, and so many other loans. 500 billion is supposed to go to the counties. So, hapo kuna pesa ya development? Hakuna. Sasa tunaanza kukopa. Omba pesa to expand barabara ya Maimahiyo. Omba pesa tufanye nini? Then, as we borrow, in fact, the bad news is that as we are speaking right now, there is no country that is willing to lend Kenya. We are not creditworthy because we can't pay. It is true. We cannot pay. And what did the president do when he took over? He said, we've got first to cut our budget by at least 300 billion. And that is how we cut our budget by 300 billion, especially on recurrent expenditure. That you know, Osoro is majority whip, and he needs to have 10 bodyguards. For what? Because usually a bodyguard is paid salary by Kenya Police, and then Parliament still pays. So I need to have 10 for what? You know? You need to have 10 Gazlas. For what? Why can't you move with 2 vehicles across, or 1, if you are in an executive office? You know? The other day we were in Naivasha, where was that? Nanyuki, with the president, Mount Kenya. We were leadership of the National Assembly, the leadership of government, that is PS and CSS. The president told us, if you came with your PA and your driver, pay for them using your money. Because himself, he didn't even come with an aide-de-camp. He was carrying his own briefcase. Because initially, a president would walk with about 100 staff members, and each of them would be booked in the same hotel that he sleeps. So we cut the recurrent expenditure. Flowers, meetings like this, every day. President moves here, or a deputy president. Function after function, there are fresh flowers. Each flower costs 10,000 shillings, taxpayers' money. For what? Those are the things. Forget about these things you hear, there is a monsters, corruption and stuff. Even before we get to that monster, how do you work on these basic commodities that we really joke around with? And that is why he cut that. And then we started saying, after cutting the budget by 300 billion, now we've got to grow our economy like America, like you guys, paying almost for everything. You guys have been giving me stories in America that hata ukipita barabara unaletewa receipt. Ukipita lights, pap, asijui unaletewa ticket. Unaambiwa lipa hii, namna hii. And you're too disciplined. In fact, ukifanya hivyo, you don't question, you always pay. But what do you do when you come to Kenya? Ukipita hiyo light, ukisimamishwa na askari, unamwambia wewe acha ujinga, ama unamwambia shika hii 200 tuache hiyo story, because you also do not want to grow your economy. But those are we have got a mindset that it may to affect peer back at home. And that is why for us we said, now that we already know we have a deficit, we need to expand our revenue collection. That explains, you guys complain, you deposit money, you get charged. You withdraw, you get charged the same money. Safaricom is not owned by government. It's PLC, yes. It is just on shareholding, but it's not fully owned by. It's not a parastatal of government. So it's a service provider. You decide not to go to the bank back in the village to deposit your own cash in cash. You decide to use a convenience of Safaricom, which you don't own and is not owned by government, to deposit that money. This convenient platform needs to be paid for. Because this is a person providing service. You've got to pay this person. Now, what we are saying, as you pay this person, pay the government, because this person, this subsidiary or this conveyor belt makes profit out of your convenience. Otherwise, you have an option of working in the bank and depositing. So, in fact, if there are any other avenue that we would find for us to mitigate the 700 billion deficit, we should do. At that point, we'll have levelized our budget with our revenue, then we live within our means. And that is what we are calling upon you. That even when you are here, remittance of tax is very important. Do whatever it takes to remit tax. It is the only way one can be patriotic and grow the economy. And then eventually, you've got an opportunity to come here. But your brother didn't get an opportunity, or might have tried several times. He is still in that very bad economy back in the village. He's still struggling to get that road done for him to sell his wares. Your generation might have succeeded through you here, but there is another generation that will suffer if we do not grow our economy. And that is why any opportunity to pay tax or to get a service done and we get remittance of a percentage to our coffers, we will do it. In fact, I was telling Owen, when we landed at, was it where you picked us? JFK. We thought that we would pull a trolley ya mzigo namna hiyo vile tunafanyanga kule Kenya na unaweka mizigo na unaenda. But we paid. Ama nyinyi mlipangi, nyinyi ni wa America hapa. We paid. And then I told Owen, this is a good thing. When you go back home, I'll tell the president, people pay wakati wanatoa mizigo. It is convenience. Pay this. I provide that service back in the country. You pay me 20 shillings, I remit to government 3 shillings. So that we grow our own economy and because we need those roads. We need to be as that other country, as this country, and that other, all those other states. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. It's unfortunate at times, as you've said, you get conned, but also you guys, when you come back home, sometimes it's because of you. It's actually because of your personality. Unapata unagongo. You come and you are there for 3 months or 1 month. You are walking all over. The village owns you, and you own the village sometimes. And then back in America, that is how I hear everything about you. Back in America, back in the States. Right? And at times, you guys get misled by social media. So allow me, Owen, to now switch kidogo. For 1 minute, niongee kwa French na any other person who is here. Unielewe tu dakika moja. Niongee French moja. Ile French watu wanaelewa French sana. Wana maite. Oire mintumbire na ende binde konya korra matama no tulema ngakibono babo soro babo kore serikali ngakiba okora nini nambe ya mumaite nakabatebiri nakakwanire muganchayo maite turaiguana na point yetu turaiguana na maite nje na pimete ngapima ngarango muntu uyu kururo charia aba kururoje kwanza era ini ere ntambe ndaramukera ongwaye narari ongera narari ongiri narari inje nkari gose namba 20 on packing order naira nimbera ini yeyu nkari gose obwo mwerio muizi mubenga hakezawo ngatebanjetia kuriri onyamotoga nerabuye kure ngateba aisa ko batahira ninjo mutangani ase bali batari kuira kino tore mutue asa muntu okorokana ngakeza ngekara gabo ngasoa muina abuna nkora batero ngakura gusi ngateba nakorire gasi no mungwano yokuroje nakorire gasi nani manyete nabwate obuja nabwate mungusu bw'abantu lakini nabwate kegwa lakini nabwate weakness ali disorganized tamaidi kubanga bintu akwiba bwango kunyura ngakia kubanga naenda guchuira atarayira munabona irete muna irete akaira akabagira baba jobo minister akabagira baba nditekelia bagete maite na bori tu William ngaki mungwano yo nakia kubaga gasiga akanginyori akante 2002 ekeraba aget no 2007 ekeraba arenge Pentagon chikura baba lirekene bayirire lakini nkuibuchikare bakari era konyoirire ku Eldoret agake sabari baka Nairobi akamuburi ngayure mwaka mwatenga Serena liba gutoka KICC sikore chigutoka chikubaru chiku akwesaba akaenda Serena akanyoro mugaka abwate list yakubanga onere guchiko minister yagendogete onere guchiko minister yagendogete kumuri ngake mwaka oyo ngiko gokora ng'ibintu nkuibure ateba ng'a yegende getwairire yani abwa toboremu guko ira ataraira nroje na kiega romo aroja kubagira abantu bu minister yani kubaga bu minister yani okobaga amagena atarasoka ngaligo ne rine ria nyarebe ngabate yaba gusinga ntegerere omongwano oyo nkonyirare na eno mongwano na maitu kuibanga kabate bisana kiani munko murande na aberire nere ncha na aberire bono tora basandi bono tuitandire koba ngane mukubona bono tuikiri twabira basani bintu mbiri bya nje manyete binge ngochi nasoka ngochi na obwanga charoke kegera maite bintu kite binge bitatakiri kumanya maide bintu mbira na kaigura bigukwano asenkaransete ngoboa ngake na nyorete ngani nchenda ndigere lindo rangaigo ongaminiti ngateba tiyankonge abankabatu nkabatu kweru maide bintu bya rengera isi nkabatu manenje na kubuka nyomba mai gento ke mwana korraga na yamukunya control sometimes isaka gento ke mwana korra ena kubuka mwane my friend bosonga ali nyanchwa limonka buru kagoja nyora ibindi moko TV besije nyora abantu bageta mwane baskari abange ngarero turi gosoka ko buri ngase king president ngochere tali busi nyanza muino minde bogere ngochere ayi turi gosoka muri ngabano nje sinza mugira ngochi manenga turi gosoka makwira na nyomba egere nga kesimi baisi bana bacha balete mechano soka ngoira na nyomba nyore simi tiane tiali mwana yo kachisi chiri mirenjiri gosoka mbera nyomba baka saa 4 saa 5 jabo tuki president yagenda bono bankore ko kabiri yada tunga charuka tukarwana bakambugata akambugata so we binte bino byali ngigo ngama watenga inkoira omungono gakoira na inje nimbekende mukateba matuka yangu boka mwana na nyora nimpoto bujike bwana boto tungi kubuya my friend mboka ga ke oninje mako eno chobisi yali nyora ngani mbota ka budget ndigere nyora ng'abantu mbale bikaransa ali obisi byeyo kabisa ngokwana nene kera matuka abere at least nkunga krale sim mbuli ngakibu ngakiga siere ngakimota tokole ngigubuya no nje na maite ngambibebo bono bali bonzi bali bate ngosuru naki bakana rocho ngwaya na ndinete ke wanda limoga alia kwanza bugiranga mahata bakambekere siwe jinga acha kolandi alia ngaba minyokine jinsara bakaguruo ngama gutoro mugutano amakonga ngaba nje bakoira nga stadium ga ali kusi kisi ngosabu stadium ntuaro mugutano the last rally ngwaya bakandina na rocheri bogere no hakunya kuvuga timu gakoliri ukalio gakie ora gaki mwaka ngwaye gaki lakini ko mwature gasi obuna buo obwanchani nane na deyo mugambiga ebintebi to chaka kuvuga tia abantu abande kurumaika bas bakorera makoso no nyene matiang batige tari kwa ukende lakini tari kwa ukende lakini tabwatwa matiang kwanza taitigazi ebinta umuzuria nyori konyora ali arusiti no monge oma tobisieri obwateri current expenditure chimilioni 10 kera lituko chitariko ba accounted for bintu biri president yego ya promise nayo utakire kwasoke ichine chibako bagana ali bali kubagana na kibicho gali naendo uru tabwe kaini oyo bono tugali olita ali komanya olia tamanye tingi kagendrete oyo maitera opimete my friend bakachirie change oyo aba yatega ke aye umugati ebiribuna ko umugati na 50 ngai 950 chire olio ndetare kumanya okomari umugati 500 hanjirana so obugimana obule igo ntayeta bana baminto manyanga ebinto mbire bigenda tokorekana ni maite mwachagete kuna umana maite tokangaini wo PS nini kwanza na mbe mwari kumana ngatokangaini wo PS nekene mwangaine twe nkuira ninde lakini nu mwari ngena into ngakikumwanire utare ngena into bona bali baringe na into turaiguone kagasoka nga na ngainirwe ikigero urangerigu otebigwe igendo kiabete igendo ndabatebi ikikirakio na kwanete mogaja gote usuru ngiakorete obotuko bo nkaranzi no mugambi obo bakasasi te chabatuko nkaraba kamarieta itabere eri munyamira ntateri gwatura erinde kisi maambi bugakia na nare kwa ndegesa nje nkagenda my friend ngata nkaigorera getirimbo ko buya kweli nkage lina korokuru wali nkogenda state house nkogenda lini ike state house nkonyora abantu bari bikundi kukumingake ngikegendereta ngotabe ngaye enda mugame na yakanyeta ali obisi yaye executive ngokikali konyona ikara start access kumbe wikiro tebire nga mwanchandiro matata kiri kuri disiengente kio chiwiki bire konya chiere bono mutienyi wiki ejo that period that time konye abantu abaminta bakenyambi bakamoa pressure nge oyokwa ne county gete oyokwa ne county gete kirinyaga into embutoratoa into twaruite 48% nkiogotoa eyumambia bamubokeire agaika kabate akarigere eria ya abantu bali atagete kwa kwanza bali baye akarambu ya bale kabate imoku noyo baye you know basani baye karate kabano into karate bali toko kwana nga chi karate kama ngane kabira bono musani yoyo uri orengime kana promise karate kabatu ari kurigeria abantu maite tobauti nero intungu abantu twari kurigiri no muntu naro uru musani yoye akamako batei ngenda bono kuchiaria nje yansinyire mwangaire gente gichi wikibire yenda morore ngakimogokora kogija murusi aba nane mukurusi mo etani babire batatu bago ikali ekene bakurigiri abayete kurigiri banta bakonya kurigiri ga bande chikabira ntari gwatoraga aho denga nkimokwera bagusi aba chikuragire ngabato eto kwanza banta bano bato chandete gana matiangyobo kimoko baera oyo na mukurusi muira mubeko oyo muikoyo oyo noyo murusi mubeko muntu getenda rai gwatura kena mukumanya ndagisi kumanya bakurusi bako moretera bono tangaza ntora kuna bantu baho egento kia bete egento kiri mbaera ese muraku omwako no nena nika kwandeta wikari nkomoteinga mweto egento kiri naro jigoronkeyo onenga yani Osoro anyway so kekagosa kero muntu tukauruigo the last minute mwaka mangi na bako batebe ekia to uteti the last minute kumbe siase my friend akaruta yemesa idirie bintu biko bangwa utatogeti bakomwerio tali tosoka toena no necho yani tokaria rioka tokaria njena ma nje mono kumanya kerigese nare kota ibaba Isakinga no ne kirego kiane ena arare tekimaite ninke bwateke ku chief whip ena bogete ngatebe unkeyo yachire lina bateka bagwo tomorero eba munchuro bongo ngoenda mambi ngotebe ngende kirgiachire kare taliae ne ringi na arete mechando sana nkabira nka chaka waka bantu chingundi yabo nkabira mwako ya maondenga ninju tigama ngana mange njinje na nataketera kini abantu abamuina bukenyami bago takete bagotenga imubware chikure chinsinini. It is very messy. Oyo namanye teno arenge nini onye tuya semesa nonye mbono munanda ubwo bambuga te bintu bigenderete ga ali tali rais kera serikali ekorosi kwa I am telling you kera serikali ekorosi no mbono teraera mungona naro ko on a light note ke muntu takebeka justice kya yoro ko ndikere message botuko nga yigore ga koma tenga na America ono hakeke rora abu into hakire ni nguturwa ni rankaga because that's moto no mugakoria ono no mugaka macho egasi ono ka ukwana igore maite William ko pare different kuburi onde ka ukwana igore magana komite mugaka bona into akoete gasi tiango you maite ya bono amokorio ne gasi tiago nya container kinko ba ai bono no ngana sia sole tiago mangracia ai bono na kwabeire executive na agomote oras Osoro kanya gutuka buri ukariuka kwana ko matuka atala tini gutika umuntu kwanza ungegeri go na Alfred Mutua yani mu Alfred Mutua kubwati mu kuri bakechu yani kahozo kaiga kumubwati egere bantu muri kunya ko kugamba bube ekeruro inje my friend yana so geteiga nkaira ekiane konyigia ekiane inu mumanyeti eke kanya nate winge gwo chairman go semuga ngento gete gento gete siasa gento ngumna kwa mokonya taigo ya gento nkeyo bune kienga mno mukungu kwa mukwanira buyo tramoreta nyumba ebintu na wabire igo kuma tena ebikambu ate kago nyamoyo ni studio bugate ko bulinga ke na ki konya wantenga no bugate binte binge dinaka ko tena ebikambu ate ose nabona minute igo studio yene so ras motoke asemesa and that is why abana baminto nkonya ko insist monkonya engombe nengima ntoro bona naende on a positive note na yamungu na kwatabo PS ntaito pime buya serikali ene yabanyamato naba abakenyambe ayona kukotenga utwara konya upi twago PS ntwara kwa yeguburi ntwara kwa yegubuna finance brato konye education ntwara kwa yegu okonya ora kwatwara kurutirwa PS bana by force nga bana wata wana ene mo PS of tourism se Italia nga king ngosoto otomunga social services nyakulenda abantu abakotu na youth. That was the weakness. Lakini bono tuachakire ku negotiate from the point of yechi parastato. Na wananto bugate Agriculture and Food Authority. A parastato bugate budget ya iguru. Mungu no aliyo ku bitus nyamwamu. Eto tete saya mokonye abe confirmed, are acting. Haya. Babo nani nyambati mwaro chinachiete ku chiali munachiete. Ndogwa nini? Na babanda bange no mungwano goruku mangi nkonyora ari kindi kiai egende kemone tu atawu bwatu buya babo muri yasinko na bare youth fund bora matuka ya ande yuka amalieta tarasoka no onde mambi marogoba ntari kuruo kabisa ogokonga bakomugamika kamatai konyota amwire gocha gusinga matenga tata gusiko gocha no ne bantu mbagocha ando gocha batano ro bosoko katena kingokora kara point y'abantu abatwalenge nabo kwanza abantu bararanga muntu gitonyolire gasi omagocha bona kiabekere volta nyambati maraga mabuge gento kiri anya gwikaransararia mangi anyorobo CS okengo baba Charles Matoke banyore samwak ni bidimu nga ngosora karuani Charles kwani William Ruto no mwana oyo bonenga oyere tomwa oyo mwe he knows what he's doing na motebeti na ene na kuona gento na ndiange kuona general ende kigia mwana mintu Matoke inje na kereze ti ona table asaba gusitu karanste kera tu anyorete obo CS ngate yo mwana mintu dito kunywe chae na machogo wana boxi no tu chirabu ngate Charles bono ndaite aye bua prayo obo CS ose any seat ere MD ko something aparastato okombolia zeki yondu sema zakaro PS komatei mwana mintu it is bono yiga at this level is common sense machogo abairo mo CS umunyali bali masaba no apraye bakekera twaro gocha konyora no bo musani o William munora bekekera nero go candidate to boli bugavana okoba mukuru wa samo na machogo na wanyene kina bagekoba po because gekoba bo ekoba nga aba masaba boka banyora. That is what happened. Bona kama koigwe of course akagechi ku that day kama koigwe Osoro nero kuruani na nitanyora why njina yetu minister nkanga ngateba njitianda akasiasa chia ne buyande karakari imwete nkunya kuminyo kimura abande ngoma yetu Osoro akabuya ambeyemo mo nje mo ngaina maite tigezi seye yase yoko gaira bwango namba ibere turiko so asiasa tinde riko so anga siasa nso bugavana okoba ndengeretinga bantu gete nyarebe nangete arati ningo so bugavana okoba account ya sarikire not because arati o nyarebe namwangete nyarebe utalimuya mbayeta nitasekete ena atebang jeti amo pimere emiaka ebere ka we karakaribia hakuna haja na bongo ekarakari etamwe yende nainde mago chaka inkonyora ebintu bya embikari buya nje miaka ebere buri yakoera bona ege miaka ebere ngonya kwebanga musori ngonya kumusabia igo nakamunukane ntumbe sukari ngoroke ground gali my friend nkaransi abantu kweri na ene njoma ene na William Ruto tuna ba science so ni karakari buya lakini Tinda, it is too early. You cannot just say njenta get to get. Okuno kutuale tama. Bono iga bagirange batero korangere osuru kia kolire na inwe mutare kumanyanga kimo to korajiga sigocha gocha. Finally, abana nkoli kubaru bwalimu 1030. Please. 1032 gocha. Ntagiri tubika abana bange kwiri kuri seitali. Ni ntubugate control yebintu ebyo. Ntubugate control. No nyino buzikali muna bogocha abana nkuli kubaru. Njoma ite konde timbu ate network buyego yabantu ba diaspora. Njoma ite munganji timono. Konyore kiagara most of you diaspora emwanjira kutuka sere asemugakoli bono munganje timono most of us tali mwensi I'm saying most of us egana jakubugati kanyora jafet nyakundika konte maitenja America na tumiri chidora get kibage ndia kante na tumiri dora get mwisi bonye gonchene karakara tinje buyeka yani no ene zumuni abantu bangede chibesa nabantu ba Seattle Washington naenda abayikoyo bakanga 3 days to election bakanga 5 million. I cannot forget them. Na chita aliara kabere ngakwana 1 year 2 ate umumura naro liyo chitega akakwana bya sana era tutakete bakantumira chibe bakangare simi watenga toya account nini tutaite nini tutare ukobanga bakambanga. But I want to tell you, I want to create a good rapport with you for the benefit of your people, my people, and our county. Ibi antuna abakune kubachanda galia kugija tu create a good rapport na inu manyetenga tuanyore link Vincent Nara tuenspintolega to create kind of a group abantu bali ba mwaje tuna wana Minnesota na create a group yane abantu bosuru abantu bamayitenga naboko ndigionte inga nyarebe na pride ga sikete nkonye kia nae no nkonye mambi my friend siasa ye injiri ngokonya buza maete ngokonya litu okole na injiri chokonye maete siasa Pogmobo, my friend, no be, Kaitad. Was one of my dog. One I want to indicate one get ngokonye. Indicate was car, ngokonye. I ain't your own coin. No muchango or moicanisa on thing. Ankyungo Julie can see. What a 20 my then car again to give Jitru to me as a yinge, Namu Karakari. Like I'm going to a church function. No, Tomano and say no. I'll go to 20,000 in bakery after, you know. But there was a guy yoka. I am being calling into estima, say tali. Kobe go no one of Chipara, Yavan to Bambino, by Msia Bambino. Some of them van dicky. Go coros to a budget, Yichiram Bonoy. Baconye, Vande Balicumana, Nova Bunke Vande. Vande Balicumana, Vande Bacon go to Gatiarati, Vasi, Visano, on Yavano, Pari, Unichebe. Yet Chiram in Chaki, the state. Bagirango aba in another 2 years in Chubugirango. No ne pare moti morom. No yemo. I am telling you that. Onye tamwe na kolete. Ense me constituents ni chirami no manyete. Bona integrity yindi. Kamba ono nde serikali. Manyete kabisa ngakyo kimo bakorozu. No yemo. Chistima no na gatore korosi budget my friend monga njere na very biased yake na atumbire kuona kweli ntaenda kurenga ka kero muntu kabisa abana abakonyora chi scholarship we get close to 1000 tokonyora mabaga wono iga muntu chaga America munango osoma chi opportunity chirega tuwari chinyinge. Let's create that rapport, a good relationship as to agosire mu to engage. In one again to more diaspora, more good to engage, more to money. Mono more good to engage. Abaraito Hasiru, Abaraito, get to a Chorata Nogusi, Nini, K. Coming on guide us. Morangora, then we'll be able to understand. So, I mean, in Jenny would be a son and Achega. And I wrote about Tabang, I can't step and take it. Jerome Diga, Tilguri Mangana, Masini, Mangana, what a mangi, and a man to Kubanga, a gas neck talker. Ntaete. Over time, njen create a good opportunity. Nichega we had the summer to kuana biagabisa. Lakini mba challenge one thing now. I'll challenge them in English. In as much as you guys are talking about consulate here, which truly has got a leeway and you know it's almost becoming a reality about Texas. I must challenge you that Texas has got a reorganization challenge in terms of the diaspora people living here. By the way, the challenge that we have with the people in the diaspora is that everyone is a leader. When you guys visit us in offices, And I think the president was saying the other day that sasa hawa watu ya diaspora, huyu anakuja mimi ni president sijui nini ya nini, mwingine anakuja mimi ni president sijui wa region gani, and each comes with their own format. The challenge you guys have is unity, and especially Texas. And this I must say, because you are so many, you have failed to understand how to make clusters that can lobby for you things. There is need for consulate services here, and I do support you entirely. But I want also to challenge you to use 2 channels of search, to push for search. Number one, if you are united, go to Article 119 of the Constitution of Kenya and petition Parliament for search, so that you're able to push from one angle as you push the other. In fact, all you need to do is to do a document, Vinny, a long one, with about 100 signatures saying, we want a consulate here. And then send to me. I'm a leader in Parliament. And then I'll table for you. It will go to search committee. In fact, watakimbia mbio sana wakiona kwanza ni mimi nimetable. And it will be done. There is nothing wrong with Minnesota getting their consulate, but there is utmost urgency in Texas also, in my opinion, than that other side, because of the way you guys are, the expansiveness. It's actually common sense, you know, besides everything, besides the central point, expansiveness of this region. It's basically common sense that there is need for us to have it here. And that can be done if you guys push and get to remain organized. Finally, improve your social network. I realize that our people here are usually networked more when it comes to matters, burial and death and stuff like that. It's a very unfortunate. I mean, really, you guys, with all your exposure, you need now to expand and grow beyond that. You know, there's power in networking. You've traveled enough. So it's important for you guys to be meeting on a chit-chat. Normal basic talk over a cup of tea. And make it frequent. Start with one cluster and another, even if it's in groups of 100. Cocoons of 100, 100, 100. It can really work out something. Because again, you are almost adapting the culture of the people from this area, which is very bad. In fact, it has affected you, ladies and gentlemen, especially with the laws here. I was telling people in Minnesota that I realized people complain. Ladies, there's a lady who spoke and complained and said she vied in Kericho as a women rep, and she was told she needs to get a husband before she's elected. So she came to the U.S. and she was challenging people there that I vied in 2017. I was told to get a husband. I'm still here. I haven't gotten one, so I hope to get one. Then 2027 I vie. Then I realized there are stringent laws as far as child upkeep is concerned in this place that scares men off. So it also limits the social network and within ourselves. So you get scared of a woman because you do not want to be told half of your pay. I don't know whether Texas also has the same. It is the same thing. Half of your pay goes to for search. So I told them, expand your social network, and I challenge the ladies, whenever you meet in the social network, tell men, please, when you start with me, our child will use Kenyan laws. I will not disturb you on the child upkeep. By the way, I realized men are scared of that, and in as much as everything within America is very beautiful, on that element, I think I also got scared. So I said, so when I was taking pictures with ladies, I said, hey, you know, I am scared of child, it's called what? Child support. So kumbe ni kitu serious. Naona wanaume ndio wana. But that is life. So we improve our social network beyond search. Also, if you can't invest in actual real estate or any other things, use your money, save your money. There are so many avenues for saving. Please invest in our country through treasury bills, treasury bonds. It's important for me to tell you that it's the safest mode of investment. People come all over from different countries to invest in us. Infrastructure bond is coming soon. It's not taxable, of course you know that. 17% on return. Infrastructure bond, and you save. You hold for 2-3 years, you have your extra amount. In fact, you put 100 million, okay, let me say 10 million one coupon, of course, is 20 million. So you put 20 million, for example, in infrastructure bond, maturity rate of 18 months, 24 months or something, or even 3 years. It gives you 20% return, for example. There is no apartment you can build in such a manner that will give you such returns. Do your math. There is no single apartment you can do in that, especially if you do that 5 times. So you do 5 coupons. And then it is per year, of course. Yes. So it grows, and it's tax-free. You know, and your money is safe. You can always redo it. I mean, there are so many avenues, SACCOs and everything. Grow your money where you can make interest, dividends and stuff like that. Alafu ndio watu wanaanza kusema wewe unashindwa kujipanga. Kwa hayo machache na mengi, ilikuwa tu salamu na nimefurahia kuwaona. Ni akina nani wanasema turudi tena. Wacha nione kwa ishara ya mkono. Kai, naende mwezi pi. Mwate wanantochi tu itane. This was too brief. We need to engage. But now we'll open the floor. Thank you very much, Vincent. It was on a short notice, but you've done very well. We were not meant to be here, by the way. This is en route. We are on. We are en route. We are meant to be on official duty, so we took advantage of the holiday tomorrow, you know, and the weekend to do Minnesota and here, and then we resume. Back to our duties. And you know, moving around America is also very expensive. Nakuja hapa unalipa ticket flani, nakuja unaenda unalipa hoteli, but we had to, so that we also invest in sharing, which is very important. There's nothing that beats social capital, and that is what we've engaged today. I'm very happy to see Isaac. Was my very good critic sometimes back. So he has seen me. I don't know whether he'll still criticize me after I have spoken. I believe he won't, because at least I've set some records straight. So Vincent, next time we'll do that. Na wewe pia ukuje usimame kiti nyumbani na utachaguliwa. Ukuje tu hivi uniongelesha vizuri, tutembee. Niliambia Jafet Nyakunde kama mchezo kuja nikupea ticket na nitakukampenia na akakuwa mbunge. And so many other guys. So kuja, and so many sisi wote, because home is best. Tengeneza pesa peleka huko. Tengeneza pesa peleka huko. Kwa hayo machache na mengi, njoo uendelee na program. Makofi kwangu basi.
Okay, we have to do better. Hiyo ni yake aliomba, sasa tumpatie yetu. I think Tongi does a better job in this one. Tongi.
No, this guy is this is the most you can get from not only our land, but the beautiful country Kenya, and also from Ugu's land. He's the chief whip of the ruling party, the government, one and only. Mheshimiwa Wakili Honorable Sylvanus Osoro, CPC. Some of you don't know what this means. Some of you don't know what this means. Okay, why not begin makofi ya kiro? Moja mbili tatu. No, hold on. Hii ni ya Mheshimiwa Osoro and our brother Owen. Moja mbili tatu. Hold on. Moja mbili tatu. Moja. Bwana Osoro. Owen, karibu, Texas, short notice, next time, you can do better. Thank you, and may God bless you all.
Thank you, Bwana Tongi. When I grow up, some things I need to know how to do. Kama hii ya Tongi. Mheshimiwa Osoro, thank you so much for those remarks. Tunashukuru sana. I like how he said Kenyans, we are 50 million and then we are all politicians. But I think we are also media people. Everybody's in media. We have opinions kwa kila kitu. We are going to go into a Q&A session. I think Mheshimiwa Baya, Mheshimiwa Osoro have addressed most of the things that we always ask. Lakini, we want to see kama kuna new concerns. Kuna mtu anataka maybe clarify a question. If we can get the mic already you go. I see one hand there. Please let's be very specific to the question. Gentleman his hand was up first. We'll take like 2 questions at a time. We'll take 2 questions at a time. Be specific if your question is to Mheshimiwa Osoro or Mheshimiwa Baya, so we know who is going to take the question. So go ahead, sir.
All right, thank you. My name is Ruben Chaka. I am a pastor in one of the churches around here in diaspora. I mean, but also I happened also to be in Bible college with your sister, Pastor Naomi, so we are very close. And I also happen to know a little bit from where Baya comes from, so I can link the Kisi and the other side. But my question is, again, you have already addressed a lot of things. Veronica Maina was here before. And Tony knows I've been very vocal on your team, and I'm glad that now, even though I'm here, I can say I'm part of the government, because we lobbied and lobbied. I mean, the few of us that were here, you know what we went through in standing with the position which was seen as minority at that time. But because you already addressed the things we raised even with Maina, now you said this guy was following the president so closely, but I do feel that the diaspora seat that we got, as we go on up Mbele, I know there will be changes and all these things, but I do feel like it is ours. I have no objection for whoever is currently there, but I do feel like in the future that somehow somebody from the diaspora needs to also be part of that. So yeah, so that's the one thing I would say. Going forward, how can we incorporate those of us that are here, so that we didn't just lobby for it and then you sought for somebody who is at home and placed him there, but that one of us can actually take that. And secondly, you said about scholarships. My question is, sometimes those of us are here that we don't get to really know those scholarships. How is it that maybe you can make these a little bit open, so that if it's a case of, you know, hosting somebody who has won a scholarship, that can be easy. But then just for us who are here to get to know those opportunities, sometimes there are maybe local universities here that are providing, but they may provide those opportunities, but we don't know. Or maybe the Kenyan government is funding students over here. So that's my other question, I think. Otherwise, thank you. I hope you can address those two.
Thank you so much. We'll take his question next.
Thank you. First, I want to thank the Honorable Owen Baya and Honorable Osoro. We're grateful, and we adore you. We adore you guys. Honorable Osoro and Owen Baya have been guys. Well, I think it's working. Yeah, I've been following your politics ever since you joined the Hustler movement, and I've seen your consistency. And we appreciate the good job that you're doing, and even the support that you accorded our president. My name is Lamek Rasugu. I'm an ardent one of the hustlers here in diaspora. Yes, I want to echo what Brother Chaka said when our SG, Veronica Main and Onesimus Kimani Ngunjiri, when they came and we were launching the UDA Dallas chapter, you remember in Dallas. So that tells you that you have following here. You have a huge following here in Dallas. Honorable Osoro, just to go to the questions, you mentioned about championing our diaspora, to be specific, the Texas consulate. The president came to Washington not long ago. There was a team under the leadership of Dr. Choti that was working tirelessly. And there was a document that was presented about the consulate. We had committees, the likes of Kulundu, Brother Vincent, we have Mboti, people from Texas, and other people. So we did present a document that had other issues other than just the consulate here in Texas that we would want as diasporians. Also, our government, which we're proud of, to look into. I believe if you get in touch with the PS in charge of diaspora, our sister, and Dr. Alfred, you'll get hold of that document, and then probably you can fast track on it and then push it so that if we can have one or two things taken into consideration, we'll be grateful. I want to switch into French a little bit. Honorable Owen, Baya, kindly allow me. Thank you, Brother Chaka. Omosike Osoro. Ngwata wanga ekero wikaransaria se meseria. Emeseria se bintu bikobaganwa. Ngubanta abandi baminto basani abaito babwate seti. Ngwikabara babulinga nkintu twakorete ikwerende. Ekero nkurigeri nkubwati siasa ya itokorugusi. Enambeli twarwete na intwe. Elikorugusi yale kobanga yale ngororo ntware cha wike threshold eli. Igona into chinamba chiri cheito chiri close to 200 and something. They played a role yalenge very important yo mosiko yo ito konyoleke rokelia. Naba chumba abatorwete korugusi konyora abachumbe batano tali gento keke. Abachumbe batano korugusi asarenge volatile. Arenge prokwere ndo DM. That is not a benefit. Igomo sike kero wikaransa gali no mo president ito mo wolinga la liga. Oyo ndena akoete kurukwenda bakakwange 1200. Actually we were like this na barwe. Oligeri chinamba chiritorwete na barabu. Lakini ebintu bayire nebinyinge. Nebinyinge na ndebirito. Aki bakayegwa bakure ndange batatu. Ntuto kayegwa yo mu CS. Tali bo bere naye ngwa etu yento. Ekinkeli yento keke. Gakinje nare kobora iga. Gakitu ari gutuni bunonya nakamo. Lakini nkweresa lende. Nkweresa. Lakini ase bali bonsi ya musini na. 52 51. Gakitu ari gutuni buna kamoiga. Ase ngenje ya bami tona ntwaru erende ya etire. Lakini obosi esingocha buli. Wogocha gaki musike. Na etindi agalia watebinga yaya. Omosike. Aba bali mama atali bako etange 200 na gento. Na hintu toka kwange 200 na gento. Na bachumbe ntoruwete. Chinambe chito chirusi nkwale gotambuke kwerende. Iko na hintu kwa toligerelia na aba bande. Oyise komenta chinguru wake cheki na bako nyore nambe yeke gosuke ike na onyane nusu million 2027 na abachimbo nyore na abachimbe nonya 8 dikalia batano. Na raina bwate.
Thank you. I think we're gonna answer those and then we'll come back. Or do you want to take one more? No, take. Okay. Okay. We'll take that one, then this one, and then this one. Then we'll do a second round.
Thank you so much, Honorable Osoro, Honorable Owen Baya, Honorable Osoro. I think you know me very well. My name is Sarakama, very smooth. I'm the gentleman you last met in Nyangus when you took the chopper to 140 in Nairobi. Just to let you know, I still got a problem because when you left, everyone thought that you had given me money for the campaigns. And if I didn't have money, that would be a problem. So you, in America, normally we are very honest. Probably before you leave, you have to pay me that money. Now, I'm actually speaking wearing so many hats. One, I'm a serious gubernatorial contestant in Kisii, 2027. And from the look of things, I will let you know that Honorable Simbarat was in this hall. This is the place we actually urged him to stand. So you are in a luck hall. It's not just like you happen to be here. You know what you're doing. So the other hat I'm putting on is, what is it? I'm a Kenyan, I'm a Kisii. I want to reinforce what my friends have talked about. And I want to confess, I've been an ardent supporter of the Orange Democratic Movement. Probably I'm also going to change. If Honorable Owen Baya has undergone complete metamorphosis from an ardent supporter of ODM to where he is, who am I not to change? So, on that point, let me draw your attention to the fact that as the Kisi community, we are actually number 2 in Kenya when it comes to investments. Probably, we are second to the Kikuyus or Mount Kenya. And probably if you look at this, our brothers from the mountain, they have actually had successive regimes on their side. We Kisis, we have always worked hard, the hard way. I'll say no government has ever come to our aid. Whatever we have just toiled for it. So on the basis of that, I would tell you now, given that you are the senior most politician, you have a major seat. The Kisis, we didn't get what we deserve. If we cannot get it, as per the number of votes we gave, we are investors. We have our money. We gave. We gave. No, actually, I didn't give, but my brothers did the same. What they gave out, they didn't get exactly what they are supposed to get. Because we are investors. We have a voice. And to go back to what my friend said, like in Dallas here, we seriously need a consulate. And I don't see the need. You know, if we have something, we must have ownership. So when you get the consulate, let us have one of our own. That's when we can feel ownership. In fact, to make it even easier, some of us are very qualified, including myself. If I were in Kenya, probably, because I was a principal, by now I would be a PS. Now I'm here. So why can I let me get that seat and I'll work. Because right now, I'm moving on. We have a ground piloting. Those who are around here, they know what it is. I'm a pilot. I'm everywhere. Anything that can happen, like we have a Kenyan who died in Gillette, Wyoming. I'll be able to trace everything because I know this place. Honorable Baya, give us that thing, and I think I'm a potential. If you want to stop me from contesting against you. Let me wind up. Let me wind up. Let us talk square. We have a president. It's okay. He's a hustle, I believe. That man, wherever he sits, he's a calculator. He doesn't sleep. That man is shrewd, I know. Now he's our president. We are forced to accept. We have a deputy president. We also have a prime minister, isn't it? I want to be very honest. Our deputy president is letting you down. What he talks in the public, we cannot take that one. You cannot just go around saying, oh, you know, he's more of a Kikuyu president than a Kenyan president. Let him talk like a deputy president. I mean, I would openly say Musalia seems to have a cool head. Things may even change. The equation may end up changing. Let the deputy president be a deputy president for Kenya. Not every time he's talking, he's trying to, you know, talk good about this area. Now, I'm finishing up. Sorry for that. Honorable Osoro, there used to be an advert in Coca-Cola. Image is nothing, obey your thirst, isn't it? From a distance, I can smell. Don't be afraid. Come out and declare. What do you want? Tell us. If you tell me, I'll cover you. If you tell me, I'll know, so that I don't prepare. Because when we shall be negotiating at home, that will be more difficult. Tell us, let us know. We can bless you. I'll tell you what we did to Arat. Come out in the open, my brother. Coca-Cola, image is nothing. Thank you very much. I'll leave it at there. And I think I'm done. However, one clear indication why. You know the case of Fred Nunda, isn't it? If Fred, the chap, the other day was talking to Mtandao, Fred Nunda, you know what he said? If a Boda chairman can talk, Arat, you're doing this and this and this. In any case, our governor, 2027 is Sylvanus Osoro. That is already the the bag has been let out of the cat. I mean, the cat is out of the bag. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Please, when you get the mic, in the interest of time, it's 8:45, and we need to make sure that everybody's question is answered. Let's limit our questions, our remarks, and hit the questions directly. So, Mheshimiwa Baya, Mheshimiwa Osoro.
Wacha tu tujibu haraka so that we finish. I'll start with Pastor Chaka. And he raised two issues. Of course, he said that on the issues of the PSS or anything that touches on diaspora, going forward, because you are giving a going forward, that we need to be involved and you feel part of it. That is taken taken keenly. And don't mind, we have, I am privileged to have a mind as a computer. Anything you say, even if I don't write, it gets here. So we will engage to understand what exactly happened in such, but we hope it should be reviewed as such. On the issue you raised about scholarship and said it should be open, sometimes you don't get to get information. Largely it's blamed on you guys. You do not read. You don't follow what happens. Go always follow the website on the Ministry of Education. They're always updated because that's government thing. And down there is always that thing that is placed. Every time, trust me, especially this government. The recent ones that came out, personally, nilizitoa kwa Ministry of Education, then I went to the PS and the CS. Kamoza, is this authentic or somebody hacked and placed this? I know it's very authentic, so please acquaint yourself through such and make Google your friend as far as reading newspapers and everything is concerned back at home. So they are open per se. But if we have a link with you guys on an open platform, then you can always have a conveyor belt on passing the information on such. Pastor Chaka. My brother Lamek Rasugu, I hope I got your name right. Exactly. Said, he raised two issues. Of course, one he said in vernacular, he talked about the consulate. And said that when you guys were there in Washington, D.C., there's a group of people that explained to the president and you gave a document. I was explaining there are three arms of government. There is one that is executive, there is legislature, and there is judiciary. Now, executive and legislature, they work in tandem, and at times they can work together, and at times executive makes decisions longer kiasi. So when such happens, you can always petition the executive, yes. When you meet a minister, mwambie tunataka consulate. But when you meet an MP, haumwambii ende kwa minister umwombe document. Unampea your document, and at table parliament, the committee summons the minister. Ministers are our juniors when it comes to pecking order in terms of the government structure. We summon ministers, they don't summon us. We call them to explain why there is no consulate here. And I can only call them through a document that I've been given. I don't need to go and ask them, why are you given a document? I won't do that. And finally, on the question you asked, I'll also be, just as you, answer it in the same language that you asked about in vernacular. Lakini, vakekerere bunerego. Ibinti ya wana mintebi kwa beraliwa. Mungu wana ona ero imi kije ikomi. Kero gupima buya. Na togoserete. Era undi ntanga lakini tonya kumuhirorera rioka. Nerna sogete. Mana abere nena na sogete. Na giagora otarire roje mbogera achiete. Agataka gocha gusia kobwa. Ono tigatumu nima na sogete. Miake ikomi nto emincha. Na tegia bagusi nto emincha. Okomujira omate ngwatokonyete lakini uinyore gentugete bakekero gwikaransa na nena kwana bakekero muruere chikura chinyinge onye ndikaranse tiari onye ndikaranse ti asemeza ebikogenda so a problem nere hiyo obosi yes nkonyora tore ntu anyorite erodiri obo PS yaro na inje na igwetobe na lakini abaeresire gento kiabete abantu bakatinya in fact nkoerese binte binge twara gukora no mugambi chipinde ne message ora akumina ngaki na oro kibakego so bindo ne binge bigendrete but ntoche tonyore ebinte binge biribigocha gusi but for me the most important thing to karanstega tutakire kubuli eba onye to miss it appointment ke appointment ne chingia ngoto wachire rieta buna Osoro mwana nga bana wipu sijui nini lakini mata at the end of the day aka budget kalimbe kiro bisina kane na mwane timado sebo maito angabona muna tukarasa ngabona ngabona muno mokoro si budget muno karanstari kekera budget te yigweta bunge tali gwetera so bisiane make sure bintu byetu gusimbiro akekera utabuga tubo PS ado isi para chite chigo kwama seitari bakekera ubuga tubo PS bakekera ubuga tubo CS ebintu date biko basamba mo buga to monto yes to gwe toki paraga ono mtu buga to ono mugusio gukwana lakini inkaria chipara chiri wana muneri yasuneka ikwame chipara chiri chikwenda kuchime kuchichiabo nyamira kuchimali nyamaiya chikwame you know so bono ntare top focus ekana nyore tenga tuwa mistia kantakwe ena chagete kwa saba PS ya babande bali important go chas tole nka bachaga ko batei mai tenje kero ekene kiane kwa irire inche muno magawasa ko baiga nje bunge na yango ko bekererie tabo sana bona bange kero bakne cross budget ceilings nko bande amalieta na that's why we we talking achipara chi na rasme chibechirami mbekere gento gete bama dengo muntu nko kambana ni president na no mutindi bungalia na ero ragere ngende so inje bona iga my focus na regio mono bakekere to misitia tiyango turanyora magendero aliye mugusia ta complain gochi mutwe kiagera nko bagare class so the point ina akwira iri buneta kere kwa sababu na bana ro chinyali bali masaba parati ya nyakoro osigurami etamwe yaera no na ya mutima saba nyali bali mbara bono ntei bono ayon onyoro ntebi bo PS yotegete korusi onyore oye gumo PS yo mining nkyo ko mining gari go jinjini ngego mining no mbate kware ai nkyo ko mining ko lugari so those are the things to akesabu to chake korengeringa epari libuone na kiyo ko kwe budget epari tabi kiri budget mwako yo mutanga no yo kabire eba nje na bari budget last parliament ni manjete mwako mutanga no yo kabire otabegeti yani no koromura korega nyeta serikali ende mogocha kwa guchi promise munga inu gocha na ichistima na boyo ikine kintaita bana tukwane finally I think ikine gwa kwana mwalimu wa kama Governor Kama started by saying when you remember when the president sent me a chopper. So I think I was in, there was some voting that was supposed to happen in Parliament and I didn't attend. So he asked me where I was. I was somewhere close to where he was. So the chopper came and picked me from where I was. And I found him. And he told me, unajua number one, okay, I found him, he told me, mimi, unafanya kazi mzuri, lakini mimi ni ODM. Unafanya kazi mzuri, mimi ni Azimio, lakini. That's what he told me. But he's also told me that I need to give him money, kwa sababu watu walifikiria nilimwachia pesa. Lakini na mimi namjibu ya kwamba, mimi si kukwambia usimame. Wewe ndio ulikuja bali alikuja tukasimama tukaongea mwenyewe akajileta na mimi nikamaliza nikaenda zangu sasa lakini nitakupatia hiyo pesa ulitumia nitakupatia kwa ndoto so wacha okay but you also raised the second point he said is that he is a possible candidate for governor 2027. I'll tell you, if I am vying, which you are also putting me into task, I'll be very happy if you vie. You'll be my very good opponent for obvious reasons. Ama namna gani? Najua hii siasa no science. So I'll be very happy, and in fact, kama nitasimama, I'll make sure that you're well grounded, and yes, and your Mungu atusaidie. You know what I mean. But on putting me to task to declare, it is too early to declare any interest. To be very honest, even my own seat ya MP, mimi sikutaka kusimama until 2016, mara ya kwanza. In a barrio, because I was threatening to vie. Until 2016, when people told me, wewe lazima usimame. And then I decided to become serious. So I don't want to say that you see, it will appear like I'm sabotaging the government right now. And I don't want to have a governor blame me for his failures. That unajua Osoro is close to the president. Sasa kwa sababu anataka kuwa governor, alikataa kitu fulani sikuje, sijui nini. I don't want that. Such excuses. And it's actually good practice to allow somebody to do mistakes for the first year and the second year. Then you realize that it's not changing. The third year, you throw yourself in the ring. I'm still young. Sina tamaa. I can always run as MP again if work is done. Sina tamaa. Lakini nikipata zimeharibika, I have so many opportunities. Njeni ntenena, vinza amena bongo bu minister might. Kagero mungwanda utelkuru kirwekeli. I'm a president. So takini timu gari tamaa hiyo, tikatora tika so that we see what happens. And finally, the issues that you've raised about the consulate, you've added salt on what he said, and you said you're a ground pilot, I think if I got it right. So, and you said that you need to be placed in such high positions. I endorse that. Even the we cover ga. Njenda rekubuga tika ikera buguzimura abange ga. Koba ga. Ngaki kishengo mwano minto oyo mugo sebabire mbaro na nini nimoko banga. So that we push from there. I think I have answered all the questions.
Yes. He definitely has a very good memory because he captured all the questions. Let's get the mic. There are 2 questions here. So, but the privilege of being the MC, you also get to ask a question. So I will put mine across. Okay, go ahead. Can you turn the light?
Let's save time. Okay, my name is Wycliffe Mobek. Osoro labda anijui, lakini namfahamu. And is the member of parliament from my mom's side. This is my county member. I come from Kilifi County, Mtwapa. So uko nyumbani. Lakini wewe ni member of parliament from my mom, from South Mugirango, Bosinange. So I'm just so happy to be here today. I don't come from this state. I come from Wichita, Kansas. I heard they were around. I said I canceled my flight. I came here to work. I just left Kenya on Wednesday. I just dropped here to work, and then I said, let me just stay by so I can easily hear what they are saying, which is very important. Not everybody can easily be a member of parliament or a leader or something like that. Some of us, like myself, I don't have that ambition. But like people say, we have nerds, right? People stay behind to coordinate and make sure everything is working right. So connect moja hapa hivi, I would like to ask the Chief Whip, Mr. Osoro. I think there's this narrative you guys keep saying all the time, like the diaspora members come to Kenya, the offices, all of them, they are leaders, everybody's claiming to be a leader. But people have different ambitions, people have different things that they are trying to address differently. You know, if we keep saying that, Mr. Baya, I would feel like yeah, you guys will get away with that and the people will never come to address their issues because at some point, you know, 5 years is a very short time of election cycle. So I would just like to know, which is the easiest way when people have issues that they need to address and how to, do they come? Because you see, the diaspora is big, it's not America only. We have people everywhere in the UK, Qatar, everywhere. Even Africa, outside countries are just people in the diaspora. You know, it's very, as Osoro said a while ago, the last point that he mentioned, traversing in America, for example, it's very expensive. And trying to reach out to every single person is a very tedious process, actually. Because we only meet in functions if it's very necessary because people are normally working each and every single time because they really keep their time very important for them. At the same time, they would be having issues the way they want to address the country and help the country that way. Not everybody can be a member of parliament. Not everyone can be a leader in something. But at the same time, you would feel we have the committee in charge of the diaspora affairs. For example, like right now, I understand I'm in a group whereby people are planning to come to the National Assembly to see the committee in charge of the diaspora affairs so that they can share and give their sentiments. What's the approach to get there? What's the easiest way? Do you, according to applications? I'm only asking, I'm not a member of parliament. You know, that's why the Chief Whip. And the good thing is you're just here, we're just addressing you. a close distance, and so that we can answer that question very well and give us guidance. And the fact that I'm here close to you, I'm going to take the same information, which is so easy for them. By the time you're opening the Parliament sessions on Tuesday, February on 13th, right? 14th February, so that it could be something that someone can easily table on the House committee or whatever, and then it's just talked about it at the House of Business. But here's the question. Kindly, you guys, I mean, the diaspora is so big. People are really feeling so much left out, like how Lamek said a while ago. You know, representation is very important. You know, the power is, Osoro, you said this clearly, if I heard you very clearly, the power is not in the executive, the power is in the legislation. That's very true. So and that's what the diaspora is asking. The reason that's why you see each and every single person coming out there trying to claim that, like, hey, they are leader of a certain organization, the leader of that, and here and there, is because they're trying to, that's the only way that you can lobby, because it's connecting the diaspora is so big. Osoro, you're already tired for coming in Minnesota, tomorrow you're going to Florida, you're going to Delaware. By the time you cover all America, and people have different interests, it's very hard. But if people have made that a way for them to access to Parliament or the Senate, the National Assembly as by and large, which is the easiest way is, would they get that access to Parliament, and maybe they can table or have a discussion in the committee which is responsible for their own issues? That's one of my question. That's it.
Mheshimiwa Baya, my name is Dennis Mbaka Mugunchi, and I have a question. You raised an issue about taxation. To me, it's a big deal, given the fact that consumerism is motivated. Oh, I'm sorry. Consumerism is pushed by the ability of anybody having some money in their pocket. So if you tax everything, there's no consumerism, which means businesses are falling apart because there's nobody who is able to consume spend the money in the country. So I know you say that it's beneficial to the country. Yes, I agree with you. But however, to some extent, here in America, they have a given portion. So VAT, we are doing 16%. Actually, they were raising it, right? Assuming you give 2% of that 16% to every county, every business that goes around the county, maybe 2%. I'm just giving an opinion, right? So, nataka kuenda ki-French kidogo, but I liked your idea of taxation and the whole things that you came up with, business orientation. And however, there's one fact actually you mentioned about we encouraging our people to come to America as nurses and things like that. I've encouraged one person to come here. She came here successfully. She's in Oklahoma. But the process she went through to get a visa to come to America was so tedious. So here's one thing. She had to go all the way to India to go do some examinations. And then after she did that exam, she had to go to South Africa to get some certification and then come to America. So I'm wondering what is the effort our government is putting towards that kind of, to cut down that process? Why can't we have all those institutions certified or be put in Kenya? Not everybody can afford an air ticket to India. You go stay for like a week, and then go to South Africa, and then come here. That's exactly. I mean, I'm assuming everybody here can contribute that. You can contribute a few coins, but however, you cannot sponsor the entire process because you're not even sure they'll be given a visa at the end of the day. So that is something I recommend the government looks up at, and maybe they'll cut down the process. I'm sorry, I'm quiet. So, Osoro, the another thing I want to talk about is about taxation. You know, this guy Kendrick Lamar sang something. I'm sorry to really talk a lot, but consumerism is a habit where you have a lot of money in the pocket. You feel like you have a lot. You don't have a lot of money, but you feel like you have a lot of money, right? So chisiringi jikomi wata muguko. Serikali siringi sana na yote ni siringi sana tora kana rent. Very well. Tora nyintora go rasukari tora kora kende yons. Wana ndi wecha kwando hotel yiro mwana go hotel mwana na ki hana go wole ngoko. Go sambe ngoko, you know. But if that person you serikali siringi bele kurwa sare tadipo. Alafu maambia genda aspendi se hotel siringi nyata nyita ragalia familia ne. You know, that consumerism builds up towards what we call an economical empire. Because after all, the government will be taxing that hotel too, right? This guy, you've taxed a little bit. More tax, consumers hotel collapsed because there's no business. Nobody's consuming the money. Yeah. So that's another thing I want to, you as a government, I mean, raise that issue to the government. They can look at it critically. Another issue, nataka kuona French like na nevak. Another thing, Mheshimiwa Baya. I don't know if I can refer to Mheshimiwa Baya. You don't mind, you went through school here, right? You know, professors and doctors don't care if they are called Kevin or Manini. So, nikikuita Baya, don't feel bad. Yes. If we go through the issue we talked about, roads, please. I know you come from Kilifi, and I love the place. I go to Diani a lot, and then Kilifi itself as a county, there's so many things there to do. It's a really amazing place to go to. Roads, mheshimiwa umefanya kwa kazi kwako kwetu ni eventual south umachoge chache. My dad's sisters know maole uko Girango sana, but still, if you're encouraging kwetu, I can say that for sure we don't have roads. This tusiseme thing about Girango yokagake. Tenena sama gusibuensi. Ne abano yo bogetutu bomachoge andons tenena na into. I'm also planning to come back there. I'll probably in the future stand there and want to represent my constituency because I'm not seeing any progress in that constituency. The guy is from NAC. I know, but and I really appreciate for the chance.
Okay, thank you. We'll take your question in the next round. Are you good with those four, or do you want to add more?
There are some very basic answers.
Okay. So
I hope so that we don't repeat. I'm worried we may repeat so that Owen answers Dennis on this taxation issue. There's a very basic and straight. What you raised about petitioning Parliament, which is very important, and how you reach the committee that is relevant. Again, I repeat, ladies and gentlemen, let's make books our friends. This, I'm challenging you on a positive note. Article 119 gives you direction to petition Parliament at any given stage in life. And I mean at any point. Once you write, a petition does not need a format. It can be in a form of a letter. It can be in a form of just a statement written and saying, I want a consular. Even if it's one page, as long as you've introduced yourself and you submit it. I've even told you, before we leave here, I'll leave you guys my contacts and my email address. Just send that to the email address. I'll download it and have it tabled. Then when it's tabled, immediately it goes to that committee in question. You will be called to explain what you meant in such a petition. That is why now organization comes into place. You are 3, 4, 5, 6. You come, you organize yourself and come and sit and explain all those things about, like you said, expansiveness of our areas and everything. America is so big, we need those things. You'll happen. I mean, they really work very well if you explain. And then you say legislation is very. I mean, legislature is powerful. Than we work, together. But each arm of government can make decisions and can influence the other. But mostly legislature, which is not very easy sometimes to work to bring all those heads together. It's more powerful, but it's not very easy to bring all those 349 members together. Pamoja, we think the same way. That is why inachukua process. That's why it's not easy to impeach anyone in the National Assembly. So on that particular one, please reach out through committees. Through petition, 119 article. The same way diaspora people sometimes must struggle. Article 78 of the Constitution on dual citizenship at times. Mtu anakuja vile Dennis umesema unafikiria kusimama huko. You need not to make your dual citizenship absolute and outright for people to know. Otherwise, it will be a challenge on petition and it will have you failed. Although people keep mute, watu wasijue nini, na unaendelea na maisha, but ile siku unasimama rais, lazima you renounce one. Because hiyo ndio inakuanga more keen. You can't be an absentee president who comes to the US to work and then goes there to lead people. On taxation, I really do not want to say much. You've talked about Ebango. the easiness of doing business in Kenya sometimes is costly, I understand, where you've got to have licenses from one level to another, office licenses, you do everything, but there is need for us to review the possibility of lowering the way of doing business. Although taxation is not as high as you place it, it's only that we tax almost on every angle. In fact, going through the taxation regime of the US, and I tell you that as a Masters of Law student, on revenue, going through the United States, I have not seen a country ever in the world with weird taxation avenues than the US. Although the income level is high and the consumption level is high, trust me, the only thing you guys do not tax here as high, and I think that is what we should copy, is food, which now makes people more strong to work because they tell you we've given you food enough, now go work and bring it. So I have done enough research. So that is where, yes, that is true. That is true. Exactly. That is where the challenge we have in our country is our tax regime is affected because, number one, there are no tax returns. Number two, we now tax you even on food. Whoever transports food, we tax you on fertilizer. We tax you on the maize that we are selling you, the mbegu, the seedlings. Then we tax you tukiweka hiyo chakula kwa lori yenye inalipa. Ikifika kwa storage inalipa. Ikitoka hapo inalipa. Ikienda kwa posho mill, you still get taxed. So it makes it very expensive. But we'll do. No, there is no timeline. You just apply. When Parliament opens, they always go through every petition. It's not about Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Now, after the petition has reached Parliament, Parliament, through their own wisdom and through the Speaker, decides at what stage, once the petition is admissible, it commits to the committee, and the committee comes with a schedule. It can give you even a month or 2 or 3. It is the timeline of it depends on the business that is on the floor and the business that is in the committee stage. That is why I have still insisted that you can track it through us. It is the reason I'm giving you that contact. At least you have a link to track through. It becomes easy to track. Mine is at this level. I'll tell you. So it's a process. It's not that Tuesday, nimepeleka petition because you are sitting on Wednesday. Man, we were not waiting for you so that we, I'm giving on a light note. We were doing our business, then you brought yours. So we have to do a schedule of another, for you so that we follow such.
Okay, thank you. A quick one for you. You see, even that committee that wants to come to Nairobi to meet the Committee on Diaspora may not get satisfactory answers if it does not send a petition. So what I would advise you is put your issues together, send it to the Speaker. It is read in Parliament as a petition, then it is committed to the committee. Then when you come to Nairobi, you can have a formal engagement with Parliament, because now that will be the property of Parliament. But you see, if you come just to sit with the Committee on Diaspora, you'll just have a cup of tea. And there's no report that will come to the floor of the House, and there'll be no record.
Just on that point,
yes.
Once that comes and that they finish, they will report to the House for the whole House.
Yes.
So it's a process.
And it can be actioned now to the executive. So the Speaker can approve it for the executive to implement it. And if the executive does not implement it, the committee on, there's a committee on implementation, it's called Committee on Implementation, can follow up if it has not been implemented. So you have a proper record and you have opened a process. But if you guys just want to come and visit the Committee on Diaspora, I can tell you it'll just be a cup of tea and there's nothing that will happen out of it. So, and like Osoro said, petitions can come in any time. And one other way is to send it to a member of Parliament to table your petition. And any member of Parliament can do that for you. or you can send it direct to the speaker for the speaker to table it in Parliament. They're both effective ways when you want proper representation. So if you have issues here, like I had CD talk about the seat at KCD, Kenya Diaspora Committee, KDC, yeah? KDC. They can do a petition to Parliament as an organization, and Parliament will call them to Nairobi, and Parliament can even facilitate them to come to Nairobi to go through the process, and the minister will be called once, twice, if he's not, he's summoned by Parliament so they can answer questions and give way forward. And the experts will also be called so that they can develop something that can help the diaspora people. So Parliament can be an effective tool. When you talk to the president, you're actually asking him at his discretion to make certain decision. But if you talk to Parliament, Parliament will make it mandatory for that thing to be implemented. So you need to look at which is the more effective way out of the two. Talking to the president or using Parliament to actually effect what you want to do. Two, on taxation, actually the president said when we were with him in Mount Kenya, he said we want to digitize all services, 6,000 services. He wants them digitized so that any Kenyan can access those services. And one of the things he said is there's no reason why somebody should wait for 4-6 months to get refunds on taxation or on taxes. And we are working on a law to make Kenya one of the countries, first country in Africa to have ease of doing business. I think it is one of the resolutions that will pass us at the UN. The country is now required to go into ease of doing business, meaning a lot of licenses and a lot of costs that go with licenses will be reduced, will be cut down. And I think that is one way of bringing efficiency into government. And therefore, we are looking forward. I think the first set of laws on ease of doing businesses were passed during the Uhuru regime. But now, with the miscellaneous amendment acts that are coming in, we have a lot of reduction of the red tape and reduction of the many taxes and duties that must be paid reduced, so that it's only a one-stop shop. If you want a license to export, you don't have first to get a license from the county government of Mombasa, because the port is in Mombasa. Then you don't have to go to export processing zone to get a license. You don't have to go to now Ministry of Trade to get another license. I mean, it's just one-stop shop, one license to help you do business. So we are trying to get ease of doing business as one of the mantra of this government. I think I ended there. Thank you. Yes, yes. 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 Yes.
You know, what the currencies can you do to even offer such a big company to invest tax free so that it will be open and now accommodation for a lot of jobs for a lot of people?
Now, I'll tell you this. 3 days ago, I had a discussion with the president on a company called Fujitsu. Fujitsu are mining iron ore miners. They mine a lot of iron ore in Kenya. But they're stuck with their stockpiles because of these things that you're talking about. And you know, they have laid off over 3,000 people because of the many taxes and many, you know, a lot of things and that. So I took the owners of this company to the president. The president was very magnanimous. He said, call the Minister for Trade here. I want him to make it possible to facilitate these people to do their business. And one of them is to cut off these taxes. So it is possible with a government that listens. But only somebody needs to know that this is what is hindering this business from taking place, you know. So like Moses Kuria was called, and he didn't even know these things exist. And he said, give me some time to do these things. So the president told him, I want to see these guys on Wednesday. And I was talking to him on Monday. I want to see them on Wednesday. These are the issues, these are the problems, and I want them solved so that when they come here, I give them a response positive that will help them spur their business. So it is possible, only that when you have a company that is having issues, for example, the one in Minnesota, to do business, we just need to know about it, and we take it to the right table, and they are facilitated so that we can move business in the country. No, we are working on that because the finance bill is coming. In fact, what the president said, we want to study the new finance. You know, the finance bill is the one that sets the regimes for tax, the finance bill. So as the finance bill comes, it will go through public participation. The finance bill will go through the country, like people asking, what do we do with this tax? Now, if nobody comes out to say, and probably it's important that this finance bill, the finance bill also comes to diaspora, so that we have an input from diaspora of the issues that they want, so that we can cut down on unnecessary red tape, taxes, the tax regimes that were put just to prohibit people from doing business. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. So at least Mheshimiwa Osoro, Mheshimiwa Baya, they are giving us the opener to most of our questions. If we need to engage further, they did say they will share their contacts. Let's try to do the follow-ups. Unless it's absolutely necessary, let's do the follow-ups in using the contact information. We'll take the gentleman there, then we'll go to Mzee back there. We'll have his question. We'll come back to you last, if you don't mind. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. My name's Jonathan Wako. Mheshimiwa Honorable Baya, Mheshimiwa Osoro, thank you so much for being here. I want to talk in my French a little bit. So, Honorable Baya, don't feel like I'm being biased now. Mheshimiwa Osoro. President yaito Honorable William Ruto no alengese regime ya Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta. You know, sometimes when you guys tell us we wonder what is happening. Bana Osoro umanyete jisebe nyangos zero mobasi you I know kwalenge ukuwayengo mobunge last time no mwenge no Mheshimiwa Honorable Bobiri. Honorable Bobiri is doing a lot of the service to us. In fact, the younger go the next time. Go to man which so much more Honorable Bobiri. In fact, go the Nando boy, go the Nando boy. You know why? Because of him go the Nando. You the gonna yagaver. You get a party, chipara just say to walk one and chipara and jana korogunya ibari. Lakini wazing or Rosiria. You the gonna yagaver. No, forget about him. Among an school, our education system, and what is happening? The schools that used to do very well, they are not performing anyway. What is happening? For example, in our boys' high school, Dong is my school, used to be my school. The schools are doing really very poor. I'm going to monitor. I'm going to run president every time and again. Please, the education system is not working. Why is it not working? And why is nobody talking about it? For real. The president. In fact, we saw a bit about what's happening. And the reasons why the guys are saying, like, maybe sometime they may come home and contest for seats, it's because those who are there back are doing a lot of service to us. Mheshimiwa, what the order was next summer? Toja summer, because summer is far away. What you want to get the we may want to know exactly what you guys are doing.
Thank you. Let's go to Mzee back there. Yeah. Some people have to go to work. Can we agree to finish by 10 at least? No, 11 is too late. 10. Yeah. 10. Okay. Mzee, go ahead.
Okay. My name is Peter. Yeah. Yeah. Mr. Osoro, thank you. Thank you, Honorable. My name is Peter Gango. Thank you for coming for a short notice. I got the information last night when we had a small meeting with my friend, the chairman, and I didn't know that we had a meeting here. First of all, Ms. Osoro, thank you. I'm proud of you. But I don't think whether I'm coming because you are doing good and I'm talking from where I come from. You're good, smart, the sky is the limit, and I'm really proud of you. You're smart. And there was a time America, we are here. And we went to school. You have done good. I'm proud of you. I know just get cross. You are going to improve our first of all, problem about education and whatnot is nothing. We are not going to change the system. It's going to take a long time. The problem I have right now is ask the government to do a research. Why are so many men having cancer? Breast cancer. Most of our men in Kisi, they have a major problem. They are sick. They have got cancer, which is unnecessary. So I need to ask you, Honorable Osoro, being closer to the president, please can you talk to him and find a system how we can do more research and do more what we call a physical checkup for men. I don't know about other places, but Kisi, we are in trouble. I had to take my brother to Eldoret, who has got cancer up to now. You know him. James Achuti, you know him. That's my brother. You've been in my home, that's my brother. He's the one who made me drink water. I need you please to go home and talk with the government so that they can go and do more. Why is cancer coming so aggressive? MRI is not even existing. I had to take my brother to Eldoret just for MRI. From Kisi district, there was nothing. I had from Bay, there was nothing. Is there a way we can bring MRI to Kisi district or other hospitals? Please find out what we can do for cancer. It is not for my brother. Sorry.
Let's finish. We take another
Yeah,
question.
it is not for my brother, but I'm also talking for all our men in Kisi here. We need to do the best for ourselves. The other thing about Omorero, electricity. I had to apply Omorero. I paid money, but on the process, I was told to pay 500,000. What the heck is that? 500,000 to get electricity. Is there a way the government can help? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next question.
Thank you very much. My name is Dennis Achira. Thank you, Mr. Osoro, Mr. Baya, for coming to visit us. Allow me to ask you, Mr. Osoro, one question. Osoro, asanta sama gandira wa kolde ndulio complain nabagira ngotole. That's why togo tigete igonga watamire koro sipara. Onye ndio tara sipara asatikale tenkuru nyansembe paka nyawera nko kuru ankoli nende pakiram no wojo kobeke para no tikale tiyo. Igong bia kole gas. Pongezi. Lakini ege ndo kirenda tenko bolie kesini ngwaya ga chaka tebi kero kende gana kinata katumonyerera nega onte bibuya tumanyerera ni. Ngwaya ga chaka tebi nga obekire emasini nyangweta akatungai namuna kwa tebi nga korama gendera tukasebu chi. Kantu kagorobo mama mu tukagole mesi nga kitika tosimekerende mesi tuchi ongwaye liaro tebeti kala tegerera na inu mugacha maro no mwalenge maro ne ndu ya minto mugateba forest ye ruta gateba nga liyo my brother akwanete agateba ngo kwatebiri inga mwagambire goro ye forest yani ya machine ya inyangweta ninkobekere kiribu nokera ya gateba ngo mwakwa bona machine ali motolengereti ya sale kirito ni gosenga kima chale gosena igen tu ya kabere Mr. Baya. We usually do a lot of business. We ship some stuff to Kenya. As you say that we help other people overseas. But when we reach, we can buy some stuff here. But when we arrive in Mombasa, we don't know how to pay. To pay like maybe taxes there. You find some people come, give them money, but you don't get a receipt. So we are having a technical hitch over there in Mombasa. Is there help us because we have a lot of things to ship there, but when we arrive at the port to clear, we pay a lot of money, even if the money than what we buy from here. So is there anything you can help us, please?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think, I don't know whether I have a question. Honorable Mheshimiwa, I am waiting for you to finish your conversation because I'm not addressing anybody. I want to appreciate your coming, Honorable Baya. You are one of us. Welcome to Texas. You understand very well our people, what they need. First and foremost, I want to address this issue of diaspora. I wanted to agree with the many speakers what they've asked about diaspora sending things to Kenya. Once their properties get to the port, they get taxed something small, extraordinary. What does the government has to do about payment of taxes on things we're importing to the country? I wanted to agree with one of the speakers because that's a major issue. Secondly, there is one point we're forgetting, Kenyans. Our remittance to the country is too much from diaspora. They say it in parliament, they say it in the head forum. But our question is, when will be the people of diaspora be given an opportunity? For example, they were given a CS, one of the positions that were offered by the government. You find a position made for somebody who has experience in diaspora is not given that position. Somebody who is in Kenya, who has no technicalities, who doesn't even know where is Arizona, where is Texas, what are the problems our people face in this country, because we have social problems that the people face in this country need to be solved. We have our county, we have our embassy, which needs to come and address social issues. For example, death, people who are suffering in hospitals, people who are in school, who have no even families. That's the work of the diaspora. That's why we were saying the consulate, we want to agree together tonight that Mheshimiwa, when you get closer to the president, please, when you go back to parliament, make sure we have a consulate here in Dallas, because the demography of this community, we have the majority of Kenyans, more especially cases where they're reading this in this let's say state. So technically we need that one and we want to endorse it. We don't need to write anything. Let them do what research, because we don't need to write nothing. We have the majority, all right? We need it because we're here. We don't need to write anything. Compositions to write to Kenyans that we need a consulate. Look at the world we're looking. We are many. Actually, if you came daytime, you will find we have like 3 churches in a small community. Lastly, I wanted to speak and give vote of thanks, but I will speak because I've been given this time. Mheshimiwa Osoro, I want to apologize. I am one of the critique who have been criticizing you on issues that you have addressed today. You promised cases that we're going to get positions, which you have said, and I want you to forgive me if I made a mistake of criticizing you. So I believe when you leave this room, please forgive me, and I believe you are doing a good job. We really support you, and we want you to work with all Kenyans and bring all the cases on board. Lastly, when you talk about taxes, this is what we mean. Our people need food on the table. Let Kenyans have food on the table first before we talk about taxes. How are you going to tax an old woman in the village who sells omena, who sells millet, and you want her to pay taxes? Even the fertilizer is not provided by the government. You are not providing the necessities, but you're asking the government, the people of Kenya, to pay taxes. Yes, we can say taxes are necessary, but to the extent, let's start from bottom up, because you say we start from chini. Then support the farmers, provide the fertilizers, let them, get something to eat on the table, and then we talk about taxes. We don't disagree with that. In the US, taxes are there because people eat. That's what you said. Provide food for our people. Just provide water to the community, and then we talk about taxes. Please send that message to the president and all colleagues in parliament. When you pass those motions, make sure those things are there. Finally, I want to say this as a community in diaspora. The reason why we feel like we need to come and help our people to run for offices. Many years we were talking about going to run for offices. Mheshimiwa was here, was in South Kitutu Church South. He got some votes. Tongi has been agitating for that position. What we are looking for is to represent our people. When you are going to parliament, please, some of us, we would like to support the government. If you give any diaspora people to work, we are very efficient. We have the expertise. We don't lie. We can work. If you hire a gentleman like this in an office in Kenya, I'm telling you, you will see the results. So let us incorporate these diaspora people in any position in Kenya. How many of you are willing to go work in Kenya because it's our country? You can see by the show of hands. People are ready to work with the government. But the country, we need security, we need water and those things so that we can incorporate that. So, Osoro, thank you so much for coming finally. Mheshimiwa Baya, I know you are representing the interests of the diaspora people. When you go back, tell your colleagues that we are ready to work with them as if they represent our people well. Finally, Mr. Osoro, you come from a very fertile place of what we call softstone. Softstone is an industry. If you go to New York, the people in New York, they are selling, like from West Africa countries, they have business they are doing for their people, selling things from their country freely. They're bringing things here, in back, they send back money. So, Osoro, please make this north, start a business with softstone. When you go to these open markets, people are making a lot of money. Let us incorporate and put some ideas so that our people can get some money in the table. Thank you for listening for me.
Thank you.
I wanted to respond to that. I'll start from a question by Jonathan. I got it right? Because we came this way. It started from Jonathan, then Dennis, then Isaac, if I got it right. Okay, fine. Jonathan, you started first by a disclaimer. And you gave the disclaimer in Ekegusi. He gave the disclaimer in Ekegusi. And you allow me, because he gave the disclaimer, Honorable Baya, because he gave the disclaimer in Ekegusi, I also answer the disclaimer in Ekegusi. He raised the issue of Gwakuananga. Oko yuta wanga esekari emetienye tatu. Lakini tuwabere miake menge. Maitabono no, ayabone guacha kuana. Kobwegete everything will be a system aiga sore. Say Italia, a president, not a final man. That is why Kibaki abete vice president miaka yaye naende baada akataka kwa president egarabe kichi ebintu biyaye orora chake. Naende kero gote ngantu arenge serikali na wana William Ruto. Kwani gaki umwana ominto. Omugeni kwa bere Jerusalem. Muna migire igata ari gukwana no ando ko receive a system ya itere ere igo bona tokoremereri. Ebichanire kunye gusakirate. Ari namba isata zo ko receive president. Aigeta asegete yani okomukwanira kenda gata ingosoro karuwa bisiyane. Ngongo kwanira emini agwagere minister nganta regende geto minister Matainga. President Jetrantebe. I really president is your boss. You are not my boss. Abande ba igete bakaba very rude. Inongere nkora kwana moranga tinde kiriko kwana. Oyo mai getaga litu ajire nyamira o campaign tole mange scheme oyo makama komulikere message kamate you are an idiot. Na inja akandikira nga you are an idiot. Na inja kamate same to you. Akama utia no sorota akogamba na ndo bugirango. Ngama kwebanga kweli. So mwana minto kara tige binte bya siasa biri general nanga ki ngamwabere serikali ya no era irobere serikali lakini kero bugate control ira aringe prime minister ngoma na aringe baka nusu mkeka na nusu mkate aseki tabugate control obuga ore serikali erieta tubugate control waona rigathi tabugate control tiabona ngo kuone usina ware serikali aro mokonyi buge vision ye president. E president ise kogenda kombo oli na bakwe bachate betali ntwe muno bono William nera akoreta gate betali ntwe so na bere iko aki mbono twabwete serikali na ndiyangirorere mitinyi etatu yoka egendo kende gwakwa na igoro mheshimiwa Innocent Obiri Momanyi nkwarezi issue ya Innocent Obiri watabanga para no choirane bana baminto kuru America. Abana baminto kuru America. Bintu mbiri buna mubiro oche na maiso igo buna mubiro oche igo. Omaete mwana omaete tiang orenge karakaringo chankali my friend. Nimbuga tu musuli na arosiri. Omaete emubuga te system chi operate iga. Ngumbuga lia nchiri igo. Bone moko anga na obire. Moko ikalia naenda bantu omaete mubuga te system ile bantu bako batoki social media sana. Kabisa okoranga na irire na ande tiamata irero onde bwensi to igoro no social media page yane onde bwensi ogotogi gwa as a social media mono ground tayo mocheki akia Mungu yendo bo Peter Kenneth nero irete chikura Facebook akabe president boli tonge na manyete social media nga naye koraiga siasa ere nchira gitere nkora boli erikiga ngo yukaransta siasa my friend yogo ikaria abantu ebintu mbira abantu batagete to batebi jargons chinyinge ekenyoro gali mboli mnakomanya nabantu ngo ikaransa na anywe chai nabantu na ikaransa chai sometimes yetalingia kwaremereri waso goje kulia mali yogo chimutuali lakini yoremereti bogi mamna bole ogosoka waso acho koni kwarugira abantu wasoka kwanyora mugonda abantu bakulima kwarema yani kwagache nyumba mwacha gonse ngosorta kwagache nyumba permanent ngankia gutachira agotorenti rubosoko tomanyeti omongi nolia oli nagachete nyumba tanya kora nyumba ya mabati inyumba metene yo bonyangi namba ibere nari kubagorera nari kubachi besa bachi bagacha ngaba bachi be agachire nyora bakulia ngira na nyore nyumba teyo ngachaka kubagorera mabati ndebye kenyoro bamwagachire baonia ngachaka kurangiria kenyoro nchuba mwagache banza bachi besa bantu ndebinga no twaliye bundi ata 10,000 so process kabanga teba bono ngocha na agacha aiga kero muri America usorombo chinga kiyo bawo koro mujimu mugi mugutachesike agotobo soku na akora ko korosie nyombe iyo na ikaranse ne kenyoro twaye kali toke twalia aya kwaru America back in America you know what I mean ngabona incho tare ko bwachikura omongi no rio inyora Osoro tata tu karanse tega iga to kaliri toke no mwamnura mwe oteba njo muntu maire no soro so abana minto ni manyete mota geto kubuli chikura naye to sanera mukamo mura ena kagete inkoso abunge engo chiko command ebinto barabara kwa ntagete para bungali yaba siasa lobbying. Abara itari bonds boma itako lobbying. Abande mbari slow. Baire ngora. Lobbying takes time. No korosio bosani. Oko manyanga ngo chikumbe kire pare budget. So that is why oko nyora barai. Mna wana kera mo bas mo complete. Kari ebori. Emiake yons. Baki minister njarengo. Ye para. Obos CS. Mwana yote minister. It was a finance. It was a planning. It was a mintu na alkobeka. Moiso onde naenda akabe minister. Ye para assistant minister. Ebinde utata mbiri rahisi ko. So toire ngora naende bono moiso ndo mheshimiwa ubiri abeto mujumbe eri akabire. Mona barai kera ba firi tami akabire e ya gatatu teke nyarekana. Mbale bako ba slow mono. Mbale bako ba buango. But that is our nature. Lakini naende ngote mwana minto. Towards the end, nocho gunduenga oko choru bono pare ina be abete mata. Mongino oli olenkali. Ebintu bine naenda ari gereti obiri na musmaireti byasa matanga. Tamo tokonyerete ngotari ari birore birense. Ebintu bira bana inchi bawo chibabo. Bahabu ati wo kuminga nkieke. Maete gari nkotare no na machi echuba obwato boiroli. Yani obintu bire nkali because machimna goja. Ari tengumbo bona gotara na machi echuba bono. Ogweta paro tiri birore kawaida ni gari yago ni ra yagere noroche baji ne chigari chimwamba kwerora. So there are a lot of things, but what I pray for your constituency, and I pray that demarcation helps your constituency be subdivided into 12. It's too big. And that is why, can you imagine I get 49 million Jonathan CDF, and Obiri gets 149, and Alpha Miruka gets 149. Alpha has 3 wards, I have 6 wards, Obiri has 8. Now tell me, what is equity? So, unapata in your constituency inapea wanafunzi 1,000 basari. Ama kama atapea 3,000 because tena ni kubwa na population iko juu, atawapatia 2,200. Kwako, Alpha anawapea 10,000 kwa sababu ni constituency 3. You guys have got 216 schools with 159 CDF million. I have 158 with 49. Alpha, less than 100. 96 schools. Explain to me. Now, come to Nairobi, somewhere, let me say Langata, 3 schools, 149 million. And you know, you've got to give that money equally. So sometimes we blame our leaders. There are challenges that they face. I don't want to be the devil's advocate, but we'll be engaging with the Mheshimiwa Obiri to realize on such, you know, me, I'm very open. However, I want to welcome you to the ring, but start early. Politics is name and face recognition. Name and face. Erietali manyu Jonathan. Wakuroke Jonathani. Una tu irete jafere bakoroka abeti. So wakumanye that name, then face. And for that to happen, you must invest your time and money. Time means ekenyoro wasaigo. And people admire simplicity even when you have this in the village. Appear weak when you're too strong. I go to the village, people don't vote mostly development, they vote out of protest or sympathy. Identify one. And then go for it. And that is how politics is. No, imagine that was one question because it iniguza. Before Montominto, Peter nakuwa nanerega. Oteba chuti omwabo muna arwarete pole maremu no, the other guy who passed on. Oh, it is your mom. Yeah, it's your mom. I remember now. Yeah, it is your mom. Nime connect Suguta. So health is devolved. I'll be engaging. We'll engage all the stakeholders, including governors, to make sure that some of those things are done. I still do not understand the strategic plan for our governor. I hope he sets it out in public, and I hope it's good. That is why I said it is too early for us to start talking about 2027 and wanting to be in the ring before we see his vision, his strategic plan. It is still very early. So let's allow him let's see how he does his thing. Then we see. Plus electricity, as you said, hiyo nilikuwa nishasema, nimeweka mimi program yangu, South Mogrango, on that. Okay, we'll do that. We will engage to Manyanaki. And then Achira, asked me, Ongwae came, akaweka foundation ya factory, that was hot air. It was meant for a campaign. Pole. We are in the process of planting more trees in that place to back in a forest. But again, there is need for us to diversify. And I'm talking to almost everybody here. Any plantation, in Western Kenya, we've got sugarcane, but those people haven't bataka. Eko kora muntobo muoro. Ebikuwa wata ya tubo kemambi tokolegas. Kera litu kagera turagere. Muntobo ke wiki ya musime kemesi oganye miyakebere. Matukanda tari kuboka. Aganye te miyakebere achiko ni emesi ko sachi emesi. Amagoje botenenga. Na kiako ro mubasio tobua. Because akoboka mambi wiki ya mako kanya yoka chiko torechai. Na kiako na te ya bantu njenkabeka hasa avocado ngere wonchoko na nigalia. Chiabuchire bwona alia bugirango. Kiagana njenko ni nda bukato UAE. Bukato kamo iganko ni 200. 200-300. Kate abantu barosire sakwe market intingo kora. Abantu bachake ko biyoka. Bukarakali na buobu. Enyame y'abantu bakona koniga bakoni nkali ekiremo 500 njengo ni Dubai gali yange 1800 ikiremo. So there are opportunities abantu baito takira ba dice fire. Tani ko nganga liyoka MSC egetuba skari nguru. MSC egetuba skari nguru. Bono nonya naye wachira baka America egento kumbuli ne MSC. Bono ki America ya okonyire. So America ya okonyire because for me no mbobe na abo ligake. You need to identify. So that no gonna get that like lakini bono ekio factory eyo nche iso komboli teli sustainable amare maita akaire amatukayo waka katwir kwa guo bande amare mayo ngakiura be kumontanye kusimike mesi so yo monta bono ikine kiarengereti nga mbeke tinyomba enyomba nkali litoboli lyo kutumia kwagacha inyomba eri nkali ngane factory abantu bakomboe kanyomba kali gobeka 1 bedroom tinyomba chibe stilingo orabeke ora kombo y'abantu ga 1000 ekero kwatema kabisa yani uru America orengere o invested tinyomba okorosi chiri 1000 liba gogocha onta inga chibese chinimbu gataseketega anyway maitenda kuigiria magana yechibese bagogo bika kieki ali kieki boro korengereri ngokwane namba ya avocado oyakorisi avocado orosi zako alafu naende umungoro ukomboligo oyo Dennis mumuru mwa maete nero mwe MCA omoticho okomonyora mubuli county ne kiyo agetegorie factory eke inje na osino maite na mokonya takabo mwe MCA ngamo ticket ya UDA ngamo kambineli akabua konyo buli rweze nkana wabaire Naomi atari kobua bono tikebinte binayo. Okay. Finally, on Isaac, thank you very much. Isaac raised a very important issue. Of course, Isaac has been my good critic. I take every critic positive. If I wake up in the morning and I open my social media or any other platform and I find people praising me, for some reason I'll think I'm dead. The only time people praise people is when they are dead. And it's African culture that you can't hold a microphone and start criticizing the dead. Unaona mtu akikufa anasema unajua yule mzuri, alikuwa mzuri, hata wakati unajua alikuwa shetani. Ni mtu roho safi, hata wakati unajua alikuwa mbaya. So if I wake up and realize people are praising me, I'll know there's an issue. So if people cannot talk about you, then you have an issue. You need to ask yourself, am I normal? And that is why, Isaac, I don't take offense. I am a progressive young man who enjoys criticism so that I get to become better. We all can't think the same. And I agree I've messed along the way. And I also do apologize to our community. There are things maybe I might have done wrong. But as a young man, I also learn. And I learn from you. You know, you pick one from one, you pick from the other. We keep on learning. And that is why I keep on apologizing every time I meet people where I've messed. Even today here. Kama nimekosea mahali, ninaomba munisamee. Na ile point yenye umesema ya hiyo point ingine umesema you do not need to write something we know. Fine. I also want to answer by saying you guys do not need to say something we know. So wait, we both know what is supposed to be done. Let's continue waiting because we both know. So that at the time, we will all realize our responsibility. He has said we know, and we've said, please don't say. We know. So whenever we come here, don't say. They know. We will know. And then when Isaac speaks, please don't write. We know what he speaks. But I know he says that because of frustration and out of the passion for need to have a consulate here. I want to tell you, it is simply a formula and a channel. Government works on record. And there must be a reason for something to happen. It must be on record. Like there are 60,000 Kenyans at this area. And that can only be done in writing. We can't work on, imaginary fantasy. That you wake up one morning and imagine how many people, these people need a consulate. Because sometimes the diaspora community is very funny. As I told you, everybody in diaspora is a leader. So it is shocking sometimes. Yes. Now, in 2016, 2015, diaspora community in New York went to the UN, the permanent representative then, and told them that they want to have a voting right. You want to vote. You want to be allowed to vote. And that file, kila mtu aliandika. Eventually, of course, you voted in 2017 in the diaspora and 2022. Before you guys started voting in the diaspora, you really requested every meeting, you want to vote. We are Kenyans. We want to vote. And then we were given an opportunity. So we were talking to the permanent representative the other day about that in New York. And we realized that you guys, we checked the people who voted in New York against the number of people who live within the environs. New Jersey, New York, all those people that live across the states. Delaware is not very far and stuff like that. Yes, Maryland, all those people, Maryland, Virginia, those people that live within DC and stuff like that. The percentage of the voters was less than 15%. But when making demands and requests about voting, hey, you guys will talk that way, So even as you talk about the consulate, sometimes you might say we need a consulate, and stuff like that. But the application of passports and everything, unapata percentage iko extremely low. And so many other things. So, it is because of that you guys must write, so that records must be there. Ndio usikuje kublame, because government is not static. Leo ni William Ruto, next time ni Osoro. So things happen that way. Na akikuja lazima aone record why it had to be Texas and not Minnesota. Why it had to be Minnesota and not these other regions. So I request you kindly muandike. It's very important for that. So I think your point yangu imeingia vizuri. Aya. So wacha tufanye namna hii. Utaniruhusu MC. Hii kitu niimalize kwa sababu ninaona najua naona the engagement is very sweet. We might not even finish, but I'm a very good MC sometimes. Fanya hivi. A question that has not been asked. Kabisa. Kuja Chaka. Uliongea lakini kuja. No problem. Simama hapa. Kuja. Aya, njoo. Any burning, other burning, very burning. Very burning, and I mean very burning. Simama tu hapa. I want us to do this. You have a burning one? Come. Now, Chaka had spoken, and Dennis, Keti hapa, tuta-imagine kama kuna time. You can't eat your cake and have it. No, we start with these ones, then tukuje. Keti tu hapa. Keti hapa, msiende mbali. Aya. Sasa tuko na hawa watatu. No, where is the young man? Which young man? Oh, him. Okay, the gentleman. You. This is his dad. No, he has his own right to ask a question as a human being. No, don't sit, don't sit. So what we do, we start with so that we finish this. Sindio, we start with him and we agree 1 question, 1 minute. Do you agree? Si tumepiga kura. 1 minute and a maximum of 2 questions.
I wanted to send Honorable Baya to Kenya. I think he answered the question very effectively, and I know you have put structures together. But what hurt me is that we are spending money in educating children home, and they are being dumped. And yet, I came to understand that the government knows, because you are the government. The only advice I can give is, as you go home, listen the many struts that I put to get all opening businesses. While you do that, if you ask Ontario and many others who have business like Nyarusa, here, if I want to open a business, it will take me a minute if there was no rain. There's something called business as is. You go pay $25 in the city of Arlington, and that will be business that will be recognized in the whole state of Texas. And while I open this business as is, and I need something that is state-wise, like DOT, how do you call it? DOT. Very good. The state, I call the state, they ask me, where will you operate? Are you operating countrywide or statewise? If I say statewise, that would be free. If it is, if it will be statewise, it will be money. But if it will be within this state, Texas, that will be free. That is what you need to do. Number 2, tiangina nege ntonkero mwalimu akwana about you. Ya kwana igoronga mongwa na rokoro kibagendi he saw it. He saw him talk. Lakini rende nindigere ngaronga, there is a future for you. If you continue to allow Kibagendi to advertise, ekiagara enkwane eribuno mwalimu ayebeka narangas narayetigere ekiagara enkere naraba kwamirania kisegi andi ake ankyo abantu bagoja goncho kabatebe nga Osoro otomete Kibagendi. So anunda. Yes. So yeah. Igo abantu baria ocho origererie obatebi nganje tinda atoma monto. Mbaya kabere egento narra nkeringa munogoteba serikali mbwango ya chagete kende ngeyo kiabeire, lakini okominyokania imeyagusi wachakiri bwangake na okominyokania oko igomogo chagotiga mwarigereria mangana yaiga munogo nagateba nga turerenga buyobeke 2027 nganga kiere ekero ya beire engencheye amangana aria narora naende moko genda matanga mngateba nga mwaso biramo bono magendero tayu chikogenderera mutari gotiga mwire ngora ense nariera agenda buya
Biamono sana na igure amangana yinkuira nirinde.
Halo, naitwa Nelson Matoke. Karibu mheshimiwa, karibu mheshimiwa Baya. Waheshimiwa wetu wa diaspora, it's nice seeing you here. Na mtu alikange. Noyo ndo ndeta mosi of all the people. Okay. So, nataka kuambia kitu moja. Mimi nilikuwa ODM. Nikajoin UDA. It's not politics. Hawa watu walipitia shida. Na siko UDA per se, but niko Kenya Kwanza. Hawa watu kupata hiyo kitu yenye walipata, haikuwa hesabu moja. Hiyo ni kitu moja, I've seen it. You know, account zilifriziwa, vitu zikafanyika. Walifika mahali ni Mungu tu. Okay, so, hiyo number one. Number two, Uhuru na Ruto wana operate different. Kuna vitu Ruto anaona zenye Uhuru haezi ona. Trust me. If you have a progressive idea, this is the time to package it, put it together, enda home, uko na kina Osoro, acha na Osoro, uko na Tongi hapa. Uko na madam, anapanda ndege every week. Yes, tumia hawa watu. You have at least 4 stages kufika kwa Ruto. Use these people. Hakuna excuse anymore. Tuacha makasiriko, ulikuwa ODM, ulikuwa UDA, kama beti iliungua ilienda. So, hiyo ndo ukweli. Kuna watu, trust me, wengine wangeshinda, ingekuwa the other way. Woniga we have one government, na huyu jamaa ana reward mtu anampea kura. It's a fact. Kama hatukupatia huyu jamaa kura, hatuwezi expect more than we gave. The only way next time hii 2027, juu atashinda. Eki inchetindi kwa wangaina. Nyasao le gorotali kwa chikobu. Anza kujipackage, tuende, tumuambie tunataka aje as a community. Muacha kulilia, ni sawa Raila tunampenda, but his time is done. For heaven's sake. Ini time enye, we have children, tuko na watoto wengi sana Kenya wenye wanatutegemea. Hatuwezi endelea kulilia mzee mwingine. He has his own community. Above everything, Mheshimiwa, kuna jamaa anaitwa Eddie. Spendi kuongelea watu, but watu wengi wenye tuko hii tracking, tumelearn vitu mob kwake. There is people you can utilize back home, especially in tracking. Hapa watu wengi hiyo ndo kitu inawalisha. There is systems that work kama DAT, track stop. Hizi ni vitu zenye watu wanaelewa. We have developers, tuko na watu wa media. We have everybody here. Kitu umetuambia vizuri, tutaiweka into writing. Once tumefanya hivyo, tutatumia hawa leaders wetu wa kawaida na watawa approach. Asante sana.
Thank you Matoke. Ilikuwa wewe ndio ulikuwa na ngoja. We've not heard sauti ya madam yeyote. Lakini utamalizia. Kuja tu.
Thank you Mheshimiwa Osoro, Honorable Baya, Honorable Osoro, karibu sana Texas. Thank you for spending your few times of your off schedule kukuja kutusalimia watu wa Texas. My name is Gideon Walker Ogoti. I come from Kisii, Nyaribari, Masaba. That's my place. I've been here in Texas for a few years, like 16 years now. Thank you so much. I want to be brief, but I didn't do summary, so I'm finishing, or I'm already done. Yeah, but anyway, going down to the point, you guys, we appreciate you coming here. I don't have a question per se to you, but I have a challenge and a question to Texans here, the Kenyans Texans here. The question that you have asked about having a consulate here, the problem we have here, Mr. Osoro, sisi kama wa Kenya wa Texas, we have very strong attachment on few things like Zamatanga. I was listening to you when I was driving from work, but we don't have a connection per se as wa Kenya in Texas. We don't have a platform in the first place. So my challenge to you people here in Texas, as much as we want services that we need from Kenya, we need to come together. We need to find a common ground and a background of coming together. Two, Mr. Osoro, I don't know if the government can create a way that they can track their people where they live, because we don't know, like, so many Kenyans lives where. if there is a portal that, you know, you can pass the motion to the government that they create a portal that once you move from state Texas to state Minnesota or to Wyoming or whatever, so that we know where so many of our people are. That can help us for you guys to create services or bring services to us here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think that is it. Wacha nimalize kwanza niseme. No, tumemaliza. Mzee ameenda wapi? No. Nataka uongee, yes. Ameenda wapi ule mzee wa Mr. You didn't introduce yourself. Mr. Henry Nyabuto. Onoyo Minto. Okay. Oh, okay. Ngaki mwana Minto uja ko ngani kiraga na ikakiole. Anyway. Yeah, daigure. Okay. Ebirengererio. Okay, mbiamono. So, Omogaka Henry, something that you also need to realize, again, to kirimu ate abanga accounting bandukuru wanabale mapema nini, lakini na beri ngunya kubuli maswali. Ngosoma muri bintu biko correct kana Kenya. Ngikia abate Meru. Okay, ngikia abate Kericho. Eliyo mugambia agote abamwiso nga MCA wa Kericho wa cheni upuzi. Kiamune bwate mechando. Usually serikali ende yonsi ebe ye county national kirego soa. Lazima abantu bagwarusane. It is no more. Before stability. Ndege ire bono nsa try kerase stabilization lane. Lazima mo chali ebinte ingo relax bire. Ekyagira abantu mbale ekera na ireto tebwe kaini bono ncho na irete na bere etami akabire bono. Line irete ntangani abantu mbale ba chagete kumana the first week. Abande the first month, abande the third, baka 6 months aseki. Na ari na tikete iskontara hagasi. Na era arocha nkonyete. Na ari oli kun support yegerenche muri kire mukae. Tinda mu support mo correctivo. So it is normal. No ebinte imuroche kisi. It is normal. Muna bide. Nga a president, governor, una asoide. Lazima abantu, it is a new regime. Bakisema bakolye basibande banalire myaka 10 ongwaye. Lazima uigwe katika bero abantu bakomana ongwayo maeteria gachire. Ole, mwana ominto. Ono ngiba okolera yi. Gawo kungaina. Mwana ominto. E regime kego change oyo kwanyora watenga. Aye. Korage ntoke. Bono it is no more until banale after 3-6 months. Toirane normal. No nyeni by the way into leadership ya kisi teta ini. Ojakira renda eto manyaba. Eto gotebani. Nenjira ya gotebani asaba na siasa ni public tali siri. Egero mwana inchi amanye. Nko murwane rande na akwana. Maeto mwana inchi huko bingi osora tara kwanira. So it is public. For example, governor ire ekero kyobo governor. Oso iro obisi. Obeire support na banta bange. Na abugata obisi. Oteba ngobisi etiniko soa ongwa yobe kiroborogi tiankaransera obisi ane nguo padu kuri stadium which is okay, that is your right. I'm renovating kwali gia bantu watenda reko kora head count yokora against what umetekera kora counterfeit check otoro original omago tuara copy bono kwabega bantu nga ntare ko manya ngokore gas aye kwali kiruga masakara kia koligete ngokoligete na ndo gukwana ne likondo mugaka munayo monene mwana ogo no na ariketwe aikaransa tasekete chikamera chiro egere abantu barore chikamera Facebook ngankora regasi mwaka munaye gwatebigwe mwaka yo ninchuga na ndo gotebu ninchuga mete pakekera mugato burai maskani yayo ye miaka nero naro lazima ngusike leta masakarago kwa statement ya makorugu mune yemo yangecheti na kina kwanirete bunanje manyete mwaka buno yo nyaoga for county crack intageti abuna se public ya saba kolega asimia sita ko sensa balenga bikara state stadium kana kwa renge galia e county galia kwa kolero sinabange nabantu ki ngoka mako bawo borwere bwo kim. How do you even say that mugakore 58 years old na abana ba embarabwe ebintu bunebe so tugachaka gotebania nambe yemo munanje nkarari giyo mugavana nesimia kabugata tugaikaransa naende kamote yo mwana ominto bintu biro gorugiko I want to mwana siasa. Bono tori monto bono kwa bere bono rusio bwana siasa. Kero kwa so executive office. Ogo play PR. Kero tere ko buto monto nya to mwancheti. Aye to mwana ne audit firm. Etine report etebe ngabanta amba bwate tubobe. Oye korenko barwane role. Abanta aba recommend babutu. Oye korenko, you know, you use wisdom so that toilet bitina. Lakini ochenga aye na achire kwa lige tubobe aye no musane bwongwa. You don't do that. It is not a mistake to be a friend of somebody. Koko koro kurwabye kwarange naende limo abande atenga aye okore counting kwa kandambire litina ko campaign. What kind of leadership is that? Ngani nchuga monto yatarachi na iraneri wasokire kwa butumira bamura bamubwatire bachakire kumuita ngiringi kwa kuramira governor boss nga na dinamate bya sesi minga kakango change yale kero muntu akamatebi wapi akagenderera. That is why kwa roje tu achagete kukwana in public. The only language mwana siasa understand it in public. Lina kwa na public na ende buna nchosoro maete koeresa. Kero na go chakire nda go samure bobe sana. Na ende tiko chali. Na ningo go chaka ko irani. Ko irani. Na ende ngirolire na matiyange. Ko irolira bakaba wanga kumuntu na bugate point. Ono buya tangira ndireti ari ko genderera angabona na agendera ko samura. Ngamote bitika. Ko koraiga agatiga. Because umura na rukuru kukenya nchigiri umonjari. Mumuro origete obwe MC oromuya. Oya mawe masakara wanga kikuwa ligete obwe MC. Takero obutwe. My friend chibese chini chie serikali kitekiro mundari. Onye na tumie tubo karakari bwana nkalikwa. Tika anso chibese chini serikali nindi kire na ande tini kuri kubosa. Timbuka de masakara kini bwa tumunu. Nimbuka te talent yobwe MC. No, I'm telling you the truth. Some things muna wono mu MC oyo tabuka tie masakara. But in all the public function na role MC. Bake yo akomo yago ago saba masakara. Na role nge MC. Liliamo akolire bonsi na aya masakara ago ngajiare. And he does very well. You see, you nurture this person. You tell him now, streamline your papers. That is how things work. Arafu create opportunities. Bali ba agota ito kobeka obabeke because engombe nengima. Toko yukura. Toko seli bando sogia bande. It is not possible. So, lina kwana go in public. I mean, momo imaga kwana. Momo kwana te kiagra bange ba areko teneniwa na bage tutu. Nje na kwana te buna rende umugusi umurai. Kiagra bante ba osoro nkia mugirangara ta kuniri. Osoro bankia kukirira. Nkio kirira. Ngakwana kurueruya kena kuna na kwana te kuruali nkwana ko yuna ndo kwana. Nanya koraga ko banga basacha banene na bangina stadium otigire. Bono twakirire. Tikikini na ende kiche na ende tuore na otora munu wane nora. So nturkuruana count tafadhali. Nturkuruana. That is when I think kora with a disclaimer. Allow the governor 2 years. Torapima mo chaka to amore kebishiro change. Why would you again continue criticizing him? You can't. Kago change eki motige. Ganya na ende kende motige. You are really itiga manganande. To ya tali yao. Akini gali yembo mame na enda mame bana bantigire. Egendo kiri kwa na kene nga omwana oyo minto ko kwa na go senkuru chiboda boda. Gentlemen, allow people by express ya mangana abo no burubu abo nchira yabo. Ta authority osoro bwe kanika authority baka ongwae teko borkende. So some of these statements that are made about county bagwetana bakole bintu bya me I don't want to be involved. In fact, I have deliberately ignored siasa ye county. Bakekera nkungusu. Lyoka no mbona mwangusire. Akama nero watabaganga kuwa natanga mukuna kuungusa. No mbona nayo kuungusa ngabo nundo kwandire mokutebi. You cannot curtail human beings. And when they realize umuntu bwe kora kwana abantu bagire ngora no Osoro tingo nyara kubakani. Tiga kwane anankia kwane igorioka lakini nche ntagete motige governor arati for 2 years. We see a leader, you can only criticize a leader after 2 years. Ekera serikali. No ene serikali ya nene. Motige tia kunya mu criticize. Lakini asa kwa kosa mukani mune ikina akanete. Lakini motige for 2 years akoregas. Ya. Nta yetu mu madam yara kwana. Ka kimano minto tia madam yara kwana. Na enda ka kwana ocho sabe. Ngosa Malaysia. Ka kwana
Okay. Oche kago kwana oche uliwe point utasapiri. Molisia. Yani yengele nkore.
Thank you. Yeah, normally, okay. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, I'm shy, please bear with me. And I'm going to be brief. Mine is going to be short anyway. And I'm not a politician. I came here because of Osoro. If you remember, I'm the one who comes to inbox. Even though you were ahead of me one class, but I a classmate, and so you are my age mate. One I won't go check. Another thing, I'm really thankful because last time now cooperative chipara from Ikoba, Ochimoma, and yeah, you work on it. You are trying. You are doing your best. Gwa correct? No, nyamba no tora kora lakini at least naling. So you are doing a good job. So I'm hoping next time I will be there, itakuwa smooth. So my question is, kwa kwanira binte binge, but ndara kwanira youth. Inki kwa bekire mesa as a youth sabaito what the youth abangi sana back home, they are suffering, but I get the chigas ki kwa bekire mesa. Alafu naende wareri aitanya rigereria ngobia ka abantegas. Thank you so much.
I think tiato kolere yukaki abana wamendo. You think koirareria gente kemo? Abana wamendo. Moruwe tata ame mugachaga US okobo yobukarakari bwino. Te abana wamendo be karakari. Mangana riyo nyo karansa para bo sego ne redie nene ngosoro ndusinka kengo ikaria matanga ngosoro nibwata masakarario ko minyokeri ngo yabekaga ari boot. That is it. But I've always told people, and I'm glad you want to get alive. Anywhere I am on the ground, I tell my young people. And I'm very, very strict. But they have a side. A karakari. Identify opportunities you go to body. Tiago tebang andiko bugarimu bugatanga 30,000 to apply it. Lakini oganyete osoro ndike. Oboskari bugari kwa egenta abantu baitu bakorana nende mubakani endo ni uburi mu 200 ocha gwakari yaki uri kwegasi 25 lakini gaki yani 200 gose 500 oya kali yaki omakoriegu oirana abugata kanyomba kali go kankari te yamana ba minto we karakari yendo nke yonje na batebi ense tata my friend no karakari no inje na nje no mai to mwana mindo nje timbu ate bibuli njara no bukarakari bwana ngayasomi no manyete esukuru ngekarakari ngasomi ngaone chinga seti ngekarakari ngaigora kabucheri gotira iga chianga ngora bioka nkabaiga ngachikugira ga account kanyoni bwata kamusuriga isaine kabiko munio skari ngekarakari bogirango njino mujumbe bona ibindi yunyu kokanya nare wikaransa ringa njire ndakana gendo ke ngankonye ndusinka my friend. So that is what I'm telling the young people. But beka biombe associations then come to us and help. Think koko inyora. Liyo kaliyo konyora na bantu bakondigira inbox ndigiriye gas. My friend. Mbo ke mambi kormuane. Ndiko kwenda kurigiri mokane chibesa kuragiria abana. Ngene nko ntobisi. Oyo nkorigiare gas. How possible is that? That is why nkora omani no mane tia baga kabate se itali limo eringo apply chibas bantu bago apply chibas mwaka ko ngira nkonyera omwana one egas omwana obaire baka osari kirobongo gendo kya korengeri ametenka agutuma ise kogenda kugamba no mujumbe bakekero ndalia murigirie gas. We are killing a generation no moegas tari kunyara because tamai kolikia. The other day I did an interview in my law firm. Kamuragite kagacha kakeigo kagusi interview wakiri yani a basic thing ebintu biri umuntu akosoma first year kera wajire law school aga affidavit yani akantaka sinini tomoete mabu gakore agasinywa agocha go express ajete Nairobi University agocha go express nku currency expression yeringa confidence yoko ndigere yonkwanere tabugati uyu ata kwenda court. I represent the clients in your law firm. On your rieta, egero bioke. We express to go to no rieta. Why? Spoon feeding. To abeke ira bana baito spoon feeding. Lioka.
That's why abantu bakorega sen. Aegwa karakari ti kama ko gachaga. Nkoro siguri chibestia ujisaine. Lakini naye bwe karakari wagacha nyumba. Nka. Some of us tuwagache nyumba nka. Mbobengo kwana. Tomana wane nyumba na wanyana jirumisa to. My friend. Osoku. Abandi na enda siya to washindu nganyoro mugaka geto sinjiri ko enda kai kyagara gendo ke agachira ali na aga bia yarire. Imdire bigo chibia era. Oranga yugo okukanyaga okwekyagara. Osoku etoko kwasekerera. Ekarakali. Nta etemu lilikuwa rosiria pesa. Nka. Weka kanyumba. Aga broti 50 by 100 weka kanyumba yoka iwono mwana mindo youth batay be karakali na we karakaleti na inje mondo ko konte inga na be kira masakara sekete nsigumire. I help them push and I will push lakini otari goteba okireta sakirete igoro liae ense my friend o we karakali nense enje tinko ba slave ya ngamono okobandu mwana siasa nkoboka mambi otari ko control ndigirie gazi ngo saa 7 ni njuo mchango gete ngo ika saa 10 ai nje ngo boka ma no Nairobi mwane tiniko taka monto korunka ngabona tuwachire okwa ni Nairobi nganyenka njenka nkuri present Nairobi gani family mbwa nabana kingo nchanga aiboka ma bitunyuro ngori kere chise chia mambe toko kora koko nsabe besa nkuburi ngasi kigwa korire chikura chigo ika ningosere bono iga tuboke toena naye guchiari turigiri tupara na kichiaro osigwe gocha ngokororie fair ya gutare no kugura baka 50 kilometers ogende oike asoguchi ona discipline ya beire na entale bona na chagete etamu entangani ante bama edo ngosuru kia okaniri don't waste time because we have finished a certain generation yoko ganya para mugambi nga 50 mugambi tokorere iguma etora kuwa no mugambi tokorere okokobe skuru chibesa ne bus kwa bachi besa kwa magodonate chibestia kuchiloka abayibuli bayichora ndikuwa kolire bagwakira chinkobi ndikuwa kolire mugambi igona bakogenda iga nakigwadutika nakigwacha bono no genda bono aento goko yani omuntu agwo aento muranje kuchinaika nabwa tu musajoira matainga aye tiangende igara kiri anga because to correct incho Malaysia onduma njigocha
before to tara koro mheshimiwa just a minute you can take a seat. Where's our friend? Before we finish, I'll he's outside, he's on the phone. I will want to ask our brother Tom Robert. I can see Mheshimiwa really want to wind up this. Brother Robert has to give a vote of thanks. He's one of our leaders in the community. And then, yes. And El Dondoma will pray for us. Brother Robert, please give a vote of thanks. And before we do so, Brother Owen, I will ask also one of our senior members who went home and ran for a political office. And you got so many votes. And he's here with us. Yes, this gentleman seated next to you, who happened to sit to your left, who happened to be to my obvious to my left, he also went home and he was a very serious contender in Kitutu Churches South, and he garnered more than close to 5,000 votes. So this is a very serious guy. We next 2027 we'll send him home, and we'll want to hear from him. Robert, just say one word, but before you say that, Brother Eric, to say one, Mheshimiwa Eric, please. And he's an engineer, for those who don't know. He really helped us in, those who are in logistics, he really does help us a lot. And we really, truly appreciate who he is.
Waafrika wenzangu habari zenu. Honorable members, Mr. Baya, my name is Osoro. My name is Eric Osoro Abuga. Kitutu Churches South, Nyabururu area. Nyabururu and Nyamataro is the same area. It's a big privilege here tonight. As we all know that we have three arms of government. The legislature is here tonight. So where we are today, we are with the government here. As you are aware, the two gentlemen before us, and Honorable Osoro, I heard you acknowledge the fact that the diaspora was basically Baba zone, a good number. And of course, there are some people here and there who are in other different parties the way we were before. Me, myself, I am Azimio. That is where I was. We fought a good fight. I was running under the party of UPA, United Progressive Alliance, which was under the umbrella of Azimio. But the way it went, we now have a government in place. It's about time we acknowledge the fact that we have to work with the government which is in office, not for anybody's gain, but for the general gain of Kenyans. I have one or two observations. I'm not going to ask any question, but I'm going to register one or two observations, which I do have, and we are addressing it on the national level. Mr. Osoro and Mr. Baya, as I said earlier, congratulations, you guys have made it through. I think both of you, this is your second term each. That is a message by itself that you resonate well with the electorate. This was my first time running for office in the Kitutu Church South. I was running against some seasoned politicians. We fought a good fight. I came up the third person in that contest. For the few interactions with people, we have a problem which I believe is fixable. The problem we have to start by ourselves by having what we call a mental shift. At one point, it will be very necessary for us to understand on how government works. Kenya, we have the developed kind of government, we have the national government, and we have the county governments. The roles are kind of different. There are those which fall squarely under the county government and others on the national government. But these are two governments which are working in sync. The problem in Kenya right now, as I see it, we are still in that hangover of the past elections, because most of the statements coming from our senior government officials, government politicians, is like we are still in the mood of elections. Hopefully we overcome that one soon. I heard you say like it normally takes a little bit while before it mellows out. The sooner the better for us. And another thing, this one I'm going to speak squarely as a Kisii. Historically, the Kisii community has worked for the government, but the government has never worked for a Kisii. They can say whatever they want to say, we don't care. Kisiis were self-made. We are not going to say like, oh, we have had the presidency in our area for this long. Of course, it's an open secret that whenever there is presidency, the community benefits. We have seen it. But we are praying and hoping that a day will come when we have a president who will know that once you are a president, you are a government, you are a president of the Republic of Kenya, you are tribeless. The first president of Kenya did what he did. He brought us where he did. Second one, the same. Third one, the same. We are now on the fourth. We are on the fifth, sorry. I mixed up the terms. Some of them went for more than 2 terms. I'm just praying and hoping that a day will come when Kenya will get a leader who will be tribeless. A leader who will look and see like all a Luo needs is what somebody in Wajir needs. I'm hoping one day, with the 51 PS positions we normally get in our government, if we go by the old tribes which we had, we were about 47, 48. What will be the problem of giving each tribe one position of a PS? Remain with the 5 award your friends. It will look more balancing. A day will come when somebody will look through you and see development in you. A day will come when all the lies we say in the name of politics will hit a hard wall. And guess what? We'll catch you on a rebound. We'll be waiting. But I'll go by one or two things. Whenever there is hope, and whenever there's concentration, we can always make a change. And a change has to start with us. Osoro, you are a young man. Baya, they might tell you that you are somewhere there, but you are still very young. If Raila is running for 2027, how old are you? You are still very young. So, the best way on my own way of seeing things and what I did concentrate most when I was doing my campaigns, my concentration was on the youth. In Kenya today, about 65 to 67% below 35 years, a good number of them. We've been having this problem from progressive governments to date. During the Kibaki government, that's when we had an influx of development projects. A lot of groundwork was laid, but they missed out on one thing. They planned the development, but they didn't equip us with the technical skills. Today, you go to Kenya, we have a lot of constructions going on and a lot of projects with the Chinese are doing. Ega asio mo Kenya gokora no kubugoli getamba kerikia red na green. Stop, pass. Stop, pass. That is what Kenyans qualify to do, a good number of them. Because of what? We can't blame these Chinese. We go, we ask for msaada, they come with expertise, and come with labor. They come, we pay them, they work, they get paid, and they live with everything. They don't leave anything behind. We should come up with a position now. I believe I'm talking to the actual government here. This is something which touches not only Kisii, Kenya, and the bigger East African community. You know, nowadays we are like 8 of us. Congo is one of them. So if we could work with the people who come to invest or to help us develop, so that we can have some skill retention, that is going to help us. We are complaining about the youth. They are all out there. I know they can be a bother, but Osoro, let me challenge you. You with your fellow leaders, the ones who you can reach. If at all we can make technical skill a priority in our youth, Kenya can make a U-turn in 5 years at most. Most of these technical skills take at most 2 years. Look, for example, a building like this. It has a wall, a masonry. They have a ceiling. This is carpentry. There's a roof, that is carpentry. Again, that is wiring, that is plumbing. All those are technical skills. And that is where we are heading to. So if our government can switch around on now to empower this youth, not only are they going to create employment, they will be self-sufficient and they are going to give more people job. For example, you come, you give them a contract, they bring these people work. You can't compare a pay slip of that guy with a teacher or somebody who is in an office. That is a technical skill. So our mental shift, our mental change about what we do for a living will go a long way. That was general. But now, if at all, it's possible. If we can have a conversation, not necessarily we, but we the people, if we can have a discussion, you are our leaders, we are the subjects. But at one point, we have to meet in a common ground, like this is what is right, and this is what is not right. So please, mine was just an observation. I know it wasn't a politicking period or anything. It was like sharing ideas. So Mheshimiwa, please. We, the diaspora, I really don't want to repeat what people have said. They have talked about the office, you already know that. You already said, like, if applications are made, you can push, you can do this. We appreciate that. So please try, pass the same message to our fellow leaders, to your fellow leaders in Kaaria, to us in sync. na ndirende mwateba ngaribirira ndicherike so that both governments chiansa gokoregas. That is fine ka simba peace nere tiga abantu peace. Tiga ruta egu peace nere tiga abantu peace. So that we yense koreki again derere. But the fact of remaining Aruto nere president yito right now kwali ugwana igora ya 2027 is not so sure. It will depending on akitoka kole bintu hono go go chimutu. Lakini rende na njira nire mbia mono karibu. Asante sana, ngamotole, and we'll pull together, and we are always going to work together. Asante sana.
For those of you who not heard, that's Eric himself. Very, 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 very calm and organized. He's an engineer. Let me ask our brother Robert to give a vote of thanks. He's one of our leaders in our community because our guests are really, really tired.
Okay, good evening again. It's me, Baya. Mr. Osoro, you met me for the first time. You heard my name. I was standing there when I declared I was going to be an MP in Boba's constituency, but I didn't, but I left it for Mr. Magoma. Mine is to give a post of thanks, but there's something I think one of the members here has said before I say the vote of thanks, that if possible, there are so many people win green cards, and they are very fortunate, but you find they come from very poor families, not only from Kisii, all of Kenya. Winners, most winners, they don't find themselves in a position to come, and then either they sell land or they beg somebody to facilitate them to come over. If you can have something in the government, that a kiddie, like, okay, whoever, because that would be an opportunity. When, if you help like 50, they come to US, those people within 3-4 months, they are landing here. The money started following back to Kenya. That's what I think, maybe they need to help, because that's also one way of legally exporting people from Kenya, no matter what kind of capacity. So to thank you guys who showed up within this short notice, wherever you look, you only said yesterday, put this small flyer out, and then if we had like a week preparation, this place would have been more, wouldn't have been enough. We could have taken it to a park, because here it's not Minnesota. Minnesota is cold right now, ours is like 65, we could have maybe gone to a park. But thank you for taking your time, and you have assured us that whenever we come, you will be accessible. That's what they say, right? But also don't go like he told us, you need Osoro to buy you lunch. Now, we need to work with them. Osoro, we're going to work with you. Baya, we're going to work with you. I said I've never been to Cleveland, but I'm going to buy land there. So, for tonight, thank yourself. At least you made the government. This is the government. So, we normally say the government. This is the government which has spoken to us, and we wish. Now, next time when you come with somebody else from another department. They also come and feel. Because what you have seen outside here, wood roads, water everywhere, why don't we have that? So let's, as a vote of thanks, also sending them home, let's have water, let's have good roads, because other cities unajipenda. But anyway, no. Okay. Yes. Many. Anyway, omwago tusabira. Omolisia enda. Omolisia chile. Okay. Osoro. And Baya. This is who we are. We can sit the whole day, but if we know you're tired, we're gonna go. That's all I can say. Maybe Tong, I have something to say. Thank you so much.
Okay, mine is to thank our guests for coming. I also want to thank you guys for coming. My brother Owen, my younger brother Osoro. This is an honor to have you in Texas. I know nobody mentioned this. If it's okay, you allow me, I can mention this to our leaders so they can work on this. What the Chinese and the Koreans, and I heard you say that they have taken advantage, is because also their government has come in aid for these people. What this government has done, and I want you guys to, when you go home, share with our president, and I shared this a few months ago. Thank God, all by bad luck, my brother was voted out. But I wish, and I'll continue sharing even with the current leadership. Now that I have even Osoro, who is the chief whip, I'll share with him so that he can share with the current government. What these other countries have done, the Asian country, they have banks in this country. And I want this to be on record. They have banks in this country. And what they do when the Asian works with their bank, they don't ask you for credits because they know you are hardworking. But the way we were trained or the way who we are, sometimes we don't know how to keep up with this credit history or credit records. So when you walk in, you are given a brand new, now I talk because I'm in that industry, you are given a brand new 18-wheeler. 200,000 worthy. But because you know you will pay. And they know that half of that money will find its way to the country where you came from. So you find a lot of them now, they have machines which are operational, because if you're given a brand new machine, you are guaranteed for the next 3, 4, 5 years, this machine will not break down. You will repay that money within that time. You could have made so much money, because what is really giving us hard time in that industry is repairs. Starting capital. And they have gone an extra arch using the same bank, because without the resources, you can't do so much. They have come. Now what they are doing, if they see a Kenyan, an Asian who comes here, who's struggling, who's trying to start up a business, they put you together, they open for you. Now they have open markets. They have their own markets. There are boundaries, everything. Because the government know that when we enable our people, and I heard this from the president, I don't know if he meant what I'm thinking, we are going to give services, enable our people whenever they are, so we can increase our remittance. And once we increase our remittance, that means our tax correction will be going high. Because Mheshimiwa Osoro and Brother Owen, right now, these people here, they are called Samabanis. The whole of December, they were running that economy. You may believe it, but that's the reality. We were sending money. If I show you my M-Pesa, I was here, but I was sending home. Literally, every day I was spending $100 to $200 sending home to people who have no business to be in my life, but because they are my friends. And can you imagine what I did to my family? So, kindly, leadership, you may go and look at that area, see how the government can come here. A lot of people here, these people are very hardworking. But because sometimes in this country there's a system, and the system is working very well, but that limitation inatuchanganya kidogo. Finally, I want to thank you people so much for coming in. Mungu awabariki. Next time when we'll have an opportunity, we'll have enough time from our leaders, they'll tell us in good time so we can plan a better and organized meeting so they can engage. Like Osoro said and Brother Owen, serikali ni young. It's very young, 3 months. Let's give them time. When they'll come, they'll be able to give us a report. May God bless you, and let's continue being one huge family. Unless our guests, do you want to say anything? No. Good.
Tusimame. Okay, let's play. Our God and Father in heaven, you have been good to us ever since we were born. Thank you for the gift of life that you have given to us. Thank you for the feasters that you have brought to us here and the good discussion that we have had. Now that it has reached time that we are going to various places wherever we came from, Lord, be with us. Give us traveling mercies, and as our feasters are going to various places as planned, Lord, be there for them. And these hardworking people who are here, as they go to their work, God, enable them and give them good mind to do the best and lift up our country so that it can benefit. We pray this in Jesus' name.
You are free to interact with our leaders as we get ready to leave this place, because